Show. It is week 4 edition. I'm your host, Blake Walker. We have a packed show for you this evening before we get you headed to our games of the week here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. We got highlights of last week's 3 games that we covered. We have your top 10 rankings of the week, and we have some of your games to watch. Don't forget your coach interviews as well. All that and more coming up on the Central Iowa Sports Network pregame show brought to you by Iowa Corn. First, we're going to hop right into some highlights.
Okay.
That way he can just chop that, so that way if we mess up highlights, he doesn't have to. Hard touchdown one. How about that block on the edge? Nice touchdown. Shout out to John Sears getting all the angles for WHO TV. Urbandale goes up 7-0 early in this one. And then a little bit later, Cole Garwood. How about this sack? Dragging down Michael Provenza way back at the 5-yard line. This game was all defense. Jordan Sturdivant. How about this interception off a tip? Urbandale's defense shining early. Really nice job here. Later in the third quarter, still 7-0. Isaiah Pinks, big tackle for loss in the backfield. Both teams just all over the place here. Here's Ryan Cunenin, another big sack in the backfield on Rottenhouse. Valley trying to put up some points, and they were able to grab some points with 7.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Michael Provenza, how about the quarterback keeper right up the middle, ties the game up at 7 apiece. This one was going to get down to the wire, and it came down to a Rockney Carver field goal. How about this in overtime? Inside the 5, puts it through the uprights. Now Valley has a chance to score, tie, or take the lead. And Isaac Hoyt, one of the Urbandale corners, jumps in front of the pass and intercepts it. He goes down. They call the play dead. Urbandale stuns Valley on the road, and the Jayhawks move to 2-1 on the season. A game of the year contender in a slugfest. Urbandale 2-1 on the season. Valley falls to 1-2. Take a look at that student section. Congratulations to Urbandale on the big victory.
Okay. And then I'm going to do that.
The Elijah Porter game. This was in the first quarter, 0-0. Porter gets a screen play, makes a heck of a play upfield. And then later, Elijah Porter inside the 5, or just outside the 5, I should say, gets a nice block and scoots into the end zone for touchdown number 1 on the evening. Keep track of that because that number is going to be going up as we go. Elijah Porter quickly one of the sneaky good players we're seeing in Class 5A. Second quarter, here we go. Elijah Porter again. How about this? Wraparound touchdown on the right side. Make it 14-0 Centennial. Taking it to Waukee early. 14-3 just before halftime. Trenton Smith upfield to Chase Shuddy. Great adjustment to go get the ball. Almost fights into the goal line just inside the 5. And then you guessed it, Elijah Porter again. Nice run off to the right side here. Good snap by Trenton Smith. And Porter runs over the linebacker and scores into the end zone. He finished with 3 touchdowns total on the evening. Take a look at the replay. Boom, hard hit. Elijah Porter using his strength. In the fourth quarter, how about Trenton Smith? Really solid night at quarterback for Smith. Rolls out to his left and throws it short to Easton Miller, one of the secondary running backs. He grabs a touchdown. Ankeny Centennial cruises 31-6 over Waukee.
Very good, very nice.
Rashad Davis all the way down to the 1-yard line. Dowling leading 7-3, but Jackson Smolik sneaks this one in from the 1-yard line, gives Dowling a 14-3 game. This game's looking like it's going to get out of reach. But how about Jazon Williams? Nice hole up the middle, and Williams uses his blazing speed to go 80 yards. It's a house call for the Ankeny Hawks to bring it back within 4. Heck of a touchdown run by Jazon Williams. Ankeny trying to come back into this game. We move to later in the fourth quarter. This is Cole over the middle to Jeremiah Kruger. Catches it, but fumbles it. After the catch, Dowling hops on top of it in a huge momentum buster for the Hawks. Dowling gets a huge turnover. Dowling then will march back down the field late in the fourth quarter, trying to pull away with this thing. This is Jackson Smolik, the Penn State recruit, tossing it up to Cooper Nicholson. Heck of a grab, heck of an adjustment inside the 5. Nicholson makes a heck of a play. Dowling cannot score, though. And with 4:50 remaining, we go down to 3:12. This kick by Andrew Schumacher is up and good to give Dowling a 1-possession lead, 17-10. Late in the game, Ankeny, 3 seconds left. was able to spike the ball, and they got one play from the 38-yard line. J.J. Cole rolls to his right, launches downfield, and it is incomplete. Dowling takes down Ankeny, a huge win for the Maroons. They win 17-10. They move to 2-1 on the season. Cool.
You like how I made Ankeny yellow?
Courtesy of the Des Moines Register. So, coming in at the number 1 position, Southeast Polk, the Rams, 3-0. They took care of business against Waukee Northwest, 42-21. In the second position, Pleasant Valley, 3-0, beat Linmar 14-7 in overtime. Not the best win for the Spartans, but it's a win nonetheless, and they move and stay at number 2 in the polls. Dowling Catholic beat Ankeny, so the Maroons move up. 2-1 Dowling Catholic, number 3 in Class 5A. Ankeny drops to number 4, 2-1 on the season. Obviously lost to Dowling Catholic. Cedar Rapids Kennedy, a big win over number 9 ranked Cedar Rapids Washington of Class 4A, 27-6 last week. They are number 5 in Class 5A. Sioux City East is taking care of business out west. They are 3-0 on the season. They beat Lamar's, who was unbeaten at the time, 52-17. Johnston, number 7, 2-1 on the season. They beat Dallas Center Grimes 44-21 last week. Cedar Rapids Prairie, after a big upset win on the road at Cedar Falls, beat Cedar Falls. They move to the number 8 position. Welcome to the top 10, Cedar Rapids Prairie. Iowa City High jumps back into the top 10 after dropping out after their loss against Iowa City Liberty. They beat ranked Ames 55-19, an absolute beating of the Cyclones. The Hawkeyes move back into number 9, and Cedar Falls does not drop out of the top 10. They sit 10th, 2-1, lost to Cedar Rapids Prairie. West Des Moines Valley and Ames lose out after their losses to Urbandale and Iowa City High, respectively. So there are your top 10 rankings of Class 5A. We're going to take a break, and after this, we'll be back with our coach interviews. You are watching the Central Iowa Sports Network CISN Football Pregame Show, brought to you by Iowa Corn. All right, come back in and introduce.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
right now. We're going to send it to Paul Yeager, who talked to Coach Ryan Pizzetti of Ankeny Centennial. Here is that interview right now.
All right, and 3, 2, 1.
Back here on the pregame show, co-head coach of the Centennial Jaguars, Ryan Pizzetti, coached last week against Waukee. What'd you like about your team?
You know what? We showed balance offensively. We threw the ball extremely well. High percentage. I think we completed about 90% of our passes. Coming off the Ankeny game, we ran the ball well, but didn't throw the ball very well. Protecting the quarterback's always a key in high school football. Last week I felt we did a nice job with it. Going forward, we got a challenge with Cedar Falls up front. They're as good as you'll find in 5A football. Division I recruits and just very, very talented.
Offensive line. You've had a couple of injuries. I still think you're kind of looking there at center. How are they developing and progressing, and what's been working?
You know what? We've had a lot of different guys step up and move in and move out, and we struggled with some injuries. You know, that's a tough position to play. You get banged on a lot. Every week it could be somebody new. So just like last week, we had 2 new starters, and they did an outstanding job.
Behind him, it kind of looks like Eli Porter is starting to kind of figure out his way. Why is that?
You know what? He hasn't played the running back in a long time. Last year he was a defensive player for us. This year we put him on the offense side of the ball. We did have some injuries early on, and he's really taken it and ran with it. This week we'll have Ty Morgan back, and he'll be playing in there as well. So you know what? Nice group of kids.
And Trenton Smith, he's always impressive looking in practice, in games and warm-ups. How was it last week? It translated to that it worked in the game for him.
You know what? You got to protect your quarterback up front. You know, just like I stated, that's the hardest thing in high school football is protect your quarterback when he's going to drop back in the pocket. We did a nice job with that. Hit some play-action passes. Just created balance. And going forward with the schedule that we play, you got to have balance. And we look to do more of the same.
Defensively, a couple of injuries again, but some of the same names keep matriculating up. Who's playing well for you?
You know what? Brody Taggart's playing outstanding. He's a 3-year starter for us. He's done a nice job. Easton Miller, Zach English, all those guys. And I know I'm missing quite a few of them that have been very consistent. You know, with our defense, we want them to drive the ball on us. We can't give up big plays, and we look to do more of the same tonight.
You've done well, and I think Cedar Falls can say the same thing, when they keep their offense on the field. How do you keep your offense off the field and keep your defense off the field?
You know what? You just got to create balance offensively. We got to run the ball very effectively, and when we do throw, we got to complete passes. I know on Friday night we were 21 for 23. I mean, we're not stopping the clock a lot of times then. If you're 50%, you know, we say we're taking 50% timeouts. And we don't want to do that. We want to control the ball. We want to win the time of possession game. We want to win the rushing aspect of it, as well as high completion rate.
What do you see in Cedar Falls on their offense that has you
you know
concerned?
Very, very consistent. Up front, they're always well coached. They're good kids. They're talented. Quarterback's really mobile. Running back, their top running back hasn't played this year yet. We don't know why. But they're very consistent, very balanced. We found that out a year ago, just how balanced they were. Defensively, outstanding. They could be as good as defense as we faced all year. The first 2 games were shutouts for them. Cedar Rapids Prairie hit some big plays on them, but they also had a lot of negative plays as far as running the ball. So we know going into this game we got to be balanced and no turnovers. Special teams is going to be a huge key.
The Hawks had to play Jack Campbell. You had to play his little brother. What is the Campbell kid at defensive end? You can't run away from him, but
No.
how do you account for him?
You know what? You just got to know where he's at. He's significantly better than he was a year ago. Last year he weighed about 205. This year I want to say he weighs about 235. So a nice big kid, big frame. I know he's been offered by Iowa and Iowa State. Anytime you're going against a talented young man like that, you got to know where he's at, and you got a game plan around that.
But you've played teams that have big players like this before, so that's nothing new.
It's nothing new, but when they're up front, that's obviously a cause for concern, just to make sure that we're doing the right things.
And otherwise, I mean, is it standard fare of what you have to do, take care of the ball and keep possessions down tonight?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
It's Ryan Pizzetti, co-head coach of the Centennial Jaguars. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Pregame show continues right after this.
Here is that interview with Rammert right now.
Okay.
And Cordy Kickoff.
3, 2.
Back here on the pregame show, Paul Yeager with Cedar Falls head coach Brad Rammert. Coach, this is a squad. You don't get to see Centennial too often. What do you think of this whole crossover business when you get to see different teams for once?
Well, it's just a different preparation. For years, we played Mississippi Valley Conference foes only. That's who made up our schedule, and it rotated amongst the 14 teams. So this gives us a little variation, gets a chance to see some of the other teams on the other side of the state and the quality football that they play. We've had a chance this year to play Johnston. We've been playing Bettendorf a few times during these rivalry as far as the reset in 5A, and it creates some new matchups and some new rivalries.
And new opportunities to go, oh, yeah, that's right. They're like this other team. I think you called, you have a similar opponent you've played in the past that kind of reminds you of what Centennial's doing. I think you said Xavier is one you've kind of looked at.
Absolutely. And I talk from an offensive standpoint with what Ankeny Centennial does in multiple formations. They try to outflank you with different formations and maybe gain an advantage by getting you misaligned. And similar to what Xavier does, you scout them and you might have 20, 21, 22 formations that you're looking at, and to try and narrow that down is tough. So you got to coach it up on the base things that they do, and they make it challenging. They have a good scheme there at Centennial.
The offense for Centennial, they're passing the ball more than running. They kind of get this reputation of run first. Quarterback Trenton Smith, what do you see in him that you're like, uh-oh?
Well, he's athletic but completing 70% of his passes. I mean, that's right away. Hey, he's hitting 7 out of 10 passes. That's a pretty good darn stat. And big tight end, like to get it to number 12 a lot and do different things to get him the football. So they'll put pressure on you. You're right. They do maybe throw it a little bit more than they've traditionally done in the years with that. And it just makes it a little bit more challenging as we prepare for them.
Defensively, it looks like you had a scouting report on them last year. Do you a lot of returning guys, kind of similar approaches, it looks?
Absolutely. I see started a ton of juniors last year on defense and had a very active squad. Those guys fly around to the football. The one thing that stood out to me, in addition to their aggressiveness, is I looked at the heights and weights, and all of them seemed to have put on 20, 25 pounds. So it looks like they had a solid offseason and getting ready for their senior year. And it's a senior-laden bunch, and they're tough on defense. They scheme you up in multiple coverages on the back end to try to confuse you, and they're athletic, and they run to the football well. So, again, offensively, they'll present a lot of challenges for us to move the football consistently against them.
Your challenges have been injuries, but it looks like you're to a point in the program where it's next man in. I mean, let's start with Tate Hermanson. I mean, guy comes in after an injury, and, what's Tate bring to your squad?
He's really matured. Last year, he got thrown in the fire week 9 and in our first round of the playoffs as a sophomore, and in a tough situation. We had 2 quarterbacks go down with ACL injuries. He got thrown into the mix, and that was a good experience to build on. But the biggest thing I see about Tate is he's physically matured. He can make throws now that he was not making in week 9 and 10 last year, which is great. And that's what we ask him to do. He's been efficient with the football, and he's going to have to do that against a tough defense on Friday.
Your running back, Drake Gelhaus, is a guy who's, I won't say bell cow, but he carries the squad on his shoulders a little bit. What are his legs and style bring to your squad?
Yeah, he's kind of a tough, rugged runner, deceptively fast. But Drake is one of those kids who didn't know exactly what we were going to have. Jacob Keeler was slated to be our returning starter, and unfortunately he's out with a shoulder injury. But Drake stepped up, and he's just kind of smooth with the way he runs the ball. He looks like a pounder, but then yet he's running away from people at times. So he's been a real pleasant surprise in the backfield for us.
Offensive line, you bring I think 3 guys back. How important is it to have a returners in some of those key positions.
Yeah, that's last year we had one starter, and we started a few sophomores last year, and then a couple juniors, and it takes a while to get that unit up and going and meshing. And it's nice to come back with some of these guys that have experience. They know the expectation. Coach Koltoff, our offensive line coach, does a great job with them, and it's nice to see that they've grown, and they need to continue to grow. But we had that base coming in that we didn't have a year ago.
Defensively, we've held it off long enough. Lots of people circle that Campbell kid, number 33, drew from that end spot. Maybe not a lot of tackles, but man, a lot of squads, they know where he's at. What's that mean to have a guy like that on your anchoring your defense?
Yeah, he's one of those. He's going to draw attention. He's really grown from last year. He started as a sophomore. Just a very intense player on the field. But the thing is, they're going to have to scheme up ways to either run away from him or double him at the point of attack. So that should free up some of our other guys, gives those linebackers some free runs. But Drew's still going to make his plays. He's got a handful of tackles for losses. He's going to create havoc in the backfield. He's just a good, solid player, and we're going to need him to perform well. We're going to have to need him to get after the quarterback a little bit.
In the middle, Drew Gertis, kind of anchoring that linebacking core. What's his vision like? What is he looking at that you like?
Yeah. Coach Humpel, our D coordinator, linebackers coach, does a really nice job of developing the linebackers. We've had success with those kids. Their eyes are in the right spot. And this is another one where they have to be. I mean, last week against Prairie, he ended up with 13.5 tackles, and he's around the ball because of the vision of knowing where to go and buying into what Coach Humpel's doing. And he's been a real good leader for us as a junior. And sometimes you don't get that from those juniors, but he tries to rally the troops on the defensive side of the ball along with Campbell and some others. But he's doing a good job so far.
Other things defensively you want to mention?
Well, we got to create some turnovers. That's one thing. It's been kind of a point of emphasis. We got to get back to forcing the other team to turn it over, whether it's fumbles, interceptions. We got to get our punt return going. But I think the biggest thing I look at from last week to this week is we got to be consistent offensively. We put a heck of a lot of pressure on our defense last week by not converting on some 4th and shorts, putting points on the board when we were in the red zone. We've got to do those things to give our defense a little bit of relief.
All right. Should be fun. Coach, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. That's head coach Brad Rammert of Cedar Falls. The pregame show continues right after this.
Then when we wish them the best of luck tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap everything up. You are watching the Central Iowa Sports Network CISN Football Pregame Show, Week 4 edition, brought to you by Iowa Corn. All right. Then we'll welcome back and talk about our games.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Not all used vehicles are created equal.
DeArmond certified used vehicles have a big advantage.
What sets us apart is that all used vehicles receive a 175-point inspection.
Carfax report, 2 oil changes, collision deductible coverage, and wheel dent and windshield repair.
Also, all DeArmond certified come with 2 warranties. A 1-year 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper and a 2-year 100,000-mile powertrain. DeArmond Ford Indianola, DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, DeArmondAuto.com.
Do you know what the best part about being a dog is? You can hear disaster before it even happens. You know what they say about disaster. Sometimes it can inspire a symphony. An honest day's work deserves an honest day's treat.
No extra charge.
And that is why we choose Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
We are
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
We're going to wrap everything up here. We're going to go through our Week 4 schedule, some of the games to keep an eye of throughout Central Iowa. Looking at our 6 games that we have this week, we'll start with the first 3 that will be on the Central Iowa Sports Network this evening across 3 YouTube videos. Waukee Northwest takes on Johnston. The Dragons trying to continue that big win against Urbandale. Northwest trying to get things put together this season. Big game at Waukee Northwest tonight. Should be an interesting game to watch. Cedar Falls, number 10 Cedar Falls, goes to Ankeny Centennial, Ankeny Stadium to take on the Jags. The Jags are one of the best 1 and 2 teams in the state of Iowa, and they looked very impressive with Elijah Porter and company in their win against Waukee. Cedar Falls could be on upset alert for the second straight week. That will be a good game to watch. Probably the biggest one everybody's going to be keeping an eye on, Dowling versus Iowa City High. That is going to be a fun one to watch. I'm excited to see how Iowa City High, can they come back and repeat what they did last season? That is going to be a big one to watch, Dowling and Iowa City High on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Urbandale and Roosevelt, the Jayhawks, trying to continue the success over Valley last week. The Rough Riders can be a tough team to play. Can Urbandale get the win over a tough Roosevelt team? Waukee and Valley, 2 teams just trying to recover and trying to get big wins on their season. Should be a great game. Waukee and Valley trying to get things back underway. Davenport West taking on Davenport Central. How about Davenport West? 3-0 for the first time in a long time. Trying to move to 4-0 on the season over the Devils of Davenport Central. And then the other big game that everyone's talking about. Ankeny takes on Southeast Polk. A rematch of last year's title game, a rematch of the last 2 title games. Southeast Polk has won 1 out of the last 2 matchups. Ankeny won the regular season matchup last year. Those are going to be the big games to watch tonight in Class 5A. Almost just completely forgot to write down Ankeny and Southeast Polk. I'm like, we are missing. I'm your host, Blake Walker. We are going to send it to Ankeny Stadium, where Ankeny Centennial looks to upset the Cedar Falls Tigers. Paul Yeager and company have the call. We're sending it to Ankeny Stadium. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Pleasant good evening to you on the north side of Ankeny and at Ankeny Stadium. It is a beautiful night for high school football, week number 4 Along with Tim Halber, I'm Paul Yeager. It is Cedar Falls at Ankeny Centennial here tonight from Ankeny Stadium. Good evening to you from the press box. We're getting ready and going through our final preparations before kickoff. And this is a game, Tim. 1-2 Centennial gets the win last week at Waukee. Cedar Falls, their first loss of the year. Quickly, in a nutshell, what do you see as the big part of this game?
Both teams emphasize the balance that they have on offense and defense. They have a ball-controlled running style with the passing. We're seeing Centennial passing the ball a bit more, very efficiently at about an 80-90% clip. So we're that balance and who controls the clock most of the game. The
grind and the non-traditional. You heard Coach Pizzetti in the pregame discussing the, well, you know, we're not always a running team. That's a little bit of a misconception. They've been throwing the ball more, and we'll see if they do that tonight. But they're going to have to deal with a ridiculously great, talented player who we will tell you about in just a moment. We're going to pause for our national anthem from the Ankeny Centennial High School Marching Band. Drew Campbell is a name that's familiar to those who follow high school football, and it's also familiar if you follow the University of Iowa football. A couple of years ago, we had Ankeny hosting Cedar Falls on that home-and-home series, and we talked about this kid named Jack Campbell. Pretty good high school player that night. He's a pretty good high school player, the same name, Drew Campbell. Let's not call him little. This guy is a big force on the field. I'm excited about seeing Drew, and I'm guessing you are too.
I am too, because defensive ends probably are the best athletes on the field, right? Wouldn't you agree? No, he comes in at 6'4", 225, and he's a junior. He's got a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of potential there. He's quick. He's got already 8 tackles for loss this season, so he's a disruptor in the backfield. You always have to know where he is. We'll see if they want to chip on him, if they want to misdirect to isolate him, to either run away from him, or if they can get a double team on him to control him.
It is hard to, when you run left, and that's where he is, to completely change your game plan. Last year, Coach Pizzetti said we kind of lost where Drew was on the field. I'm guessing they've done a little more study on film with him this week.
Probably. I'll be interesting to see, because Cedar Falls runs a true 4-man front. We haven't seen that much. Most high schools now run a 3-man front, with 4 linebackers. So here we're seeing a true 4-3 defense. They might move him around from a left end to right end to confuse the blocking scheme, so it's always going to be a chess match out there to see which defense controls.
Trenton Smith is going to have his hands full tonight. The junior has developed as the year has gone on. You asked me earlier this week, who caught all these passes last week? The answer is Chase Shuddy. How important is it for those two to be on the same page?
Well, Chase Shuddy is no hidden secret anymore. He comes out there, He's about 6'6". He's a true multi-sport athlete. Basketball player. He gets the rebound position. He is the tallest receiver they have. Plus, he's the biggest receiver with weight. So he's a tough one to catch. They may try to double, like over-under, put a safety over the top of him and a corner under, maybe cut him off, see if the other receivers can catch up. But everybody knows now that he's a primary weapon.
It could be Max Snyder's big night to have a coming-out party, maybe a little more Nick Severson. It seems teams have kind of bottled Severson and Snyder up, and Shuddy's just been too athletic. We have the return of Ty Morgan into the running game, but really it's been Eli Porter who has done things well for Centennial. But the big question, Tim, becomes identity. When I say Centennial, when you've seen them 2 times, what have you seen as their identity?
Trying to get their running game figured out. I mean, Eli Porter is a very good running back. Didn't run last year, but he's a very good track athlete. He's coming back in. Coach Pizzetti said he's one of the more explosive backs they've had in several years. So, but they usually had a balance where 3 or 4 could be a fullback, primary running back. It could be one of the running backs. You always had like a 3-headed monster back there running. Now it's been kind of a singular tailback, so we'll see if they get more to that multi-dimensional running attack.
He dropped a name that we hadn't heard but was pretty fun to watch, and that was Avery Gates. So if you remember Avery, think of the same thing when it comes to Eli Porter. Let's talk a little bit about the Cedar Falls offense, Tim. The squad as a whole has had to overcome a lot of injuries, and a lot of them right there at the quarterback position.
The quarterback comes in, he's a junior, he's got a good athletic ability, he's kind of medium in the stats. They're not a very explosive team, but they're very balanced. Coach Pizzetti talks about how well coached they are. They come out there, they know what they're doing, they're very disciplined on offense. We'll see if they can shake loose a little bit. They got a solid running game. We'll see how their passing game does against the Centennial defense.
Well, it's going to be a couple of things that we will watch, and one of them is the Drake Gelhaus. We're talking about the quarterback Tate Hermanson. 20 of 66 rushing on the season, 18 of 34, 221 passing, 1 touchdown through the air. Drake Gelhaus is going to be a physical downhill runner. We'll talk a lot about him as the night goes on.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how he handles that. He is a workhorse. The coach likes him. He gets your shoulder scores. He is your true north-south runner that they have.
Well, there's a good look at Drew Langer. We'll see a lot of him. Big number 89 in the middle of your screen. Hogan Simmer. And here come the Cedar Falls Tigers onto the field here at Ankeny Stadium. Jaguars are still making their way out from the locker room at Northview High School. And when they do, we'll bring in the third member of our broadcast team tonight, Blake Walker. I'll say gracing us with his presence. You see him in the pregame show here on CISN and other coverage throughout the year. So we'll have Blake with us here in just a little bit for his first game report. Tonight, Tim, as we look at Hermanson, we didn't need to mention Derek Woods. He's their leading receiver, 6 catches, 98 yards. Had a 90-yard kickoff return last week. How big in a game like this where two teams are pretty even do special teams become?
They're huge. I was watching their place kicker out here earlier knock him in. He's hitting it from about 42 yards out, so they can kick the ball. So much of that punting game, if you can't return it, it flips the field so much. So if you get a good return in there, you get a shorter field, gives your offense a chance. It's easier to score from 50 yards out than it is to score from 80 yards out.
75 beautiful degrees. Wind is out of the south-southwest at 9. As the evening goes on, the rain chances improve, but most of those are overnight. We are set up for just a really nice evening of football. We're not going to cool off too much. Humidity becomes a little bit of a factor, but not much because these teams have played in this weather condition all year.
Yes, if it was the first game of the season, you haven't gone out there and put this much exertion out there playing a game, you could get that cramp. But now the guys have played. This is the 4th game of the season. They're used to it. So looking forward to a perfect night. A little breezy down there, but it shouldn't affect the game much at all tonight.
Centennial comes off a 31-6 first win of the season at Waukee last week. Prairie of Cedar Rapids down Cedar Falls 24-7 to give the Tigers their first loss of the season. That's how they did last week. Here's other games going on of interest. Sioux City East will be coming to Ankeny Stadium next week. They play Sergeant Bluff Luton. Des Moines Roosevelt's at Urbandale. Des Moines East is at Ames. Johnston at Waukee Northwest. Valley is at Waukee. Ankeny is at Southeast Polk. Muscatine at Pleasant Valley. And City High is at Dowling. But you are tuned in here tonight where you will see Cedar Falls and Ankeny Centennial from the stadium. The Jaguars have emerged now from Northview Middle School from the west side and are making their way. They're playing the height video. Standing room crowd, everybody on their feet on the near side. Plenty of room on that far side that is on the east side of Ankeny Stadium here tonight. Tim, we talk about special teams. We talk about offense, defense, trying to find identity. This is probably one of the closest, most even matchups we've had all year.
It is, because both teams could easily be, it could be reversed. It could be the 1-2 Cedar Falls coming in here playing the 2-1 Centennial. So they both have balance. They're both going to run the game. We even find the game go quickly just because both are going to control the clock with their rushing game. Quick passes, completions, as Coach talked about, completions keep the clock running. They want to keep the ball as long as they can, reducing the number of possessions that your opponent has.
Here's a new wrinkle. I do not remember this from earlier this season. The drum line is leading the Jaguars onto the field. There's a nice little touch. We can kind of hear the drums in the background coming from the far side. As the Jaguars, you are going to notice a different-looking Centennial team tonight. The jerseys that they had ordered in the offseason have arrived, and they are here, and they are in that all-black format. They match the helmets now that they debuted earlier in the season, and the Jaguars bring that all-black look. There you see, there's Mike Fontana off to the right, and the rest of the coaches that are going to be headed up to the box right here, and we have our kid captain that's coming out. And fairly soon, the Jaguars are going to huddle and make their way out onto this field.
To the players, Zach English and Brody Taggart leading the team out there. Two of the leading tacklers, captains, and leading tacklers in the state for the Centennial defense.
Our officials tonight, Mike Morrison of Clive is our referee. Gerald Buhoy is our umpire. Jeff Bunting is the lineman. The line judge is Russ Dempster, and the back judge is Sean Oslin. Under the co-head coaching of Jerry and Ryan Pizzetti, the Jaguars take the field at 1-2. Losses to Indianola and Ankeny to open up the season. A win last week against Waukee on the road, 31-6. Blake Walker was there. He's here tonight. He's got some insight. Beautiful night for football, Blake. How's it going down there?
Hey, Paul, it's going pretty good. Yeah, it's a breezy night here on the football field. The wind's, working its way to the north, so that's going to be helping if you're kicking that way. Cedar Falls, there's not much to say about them. I mean, they are one of the better teams that we've seen in the state. Last year, coming off losses, they never lost. They won always after they lost last year, except in the playoffs when they lost. Centennial looking to be one of the best 1 and 2 teams in the state. Their losses are only by a combined 13 points. They looked great last week. I mean, why not? It's a great night for an upset. Cedar Falls, not a lot of fans came down from Cedar Falls. And like you said, standing room only here at Centennial. This is going to be a tough atmosphere for the Tigers tonight.
Blake, you follow the BC more like I do. Centennial is ranked 10th in that BC more. Cedar Falls is not in that top 10. The computers have their own views of things, and then it's the eye test. What are you going to be watching tonight?
I think I'm just going to watch that quarterback battle. I think Smith is going to be huge. I mean, we saw him step up in the way that Pizzetti and his offense have started to work their way to a more passing approach when we saw them run so much against Indianola. I think that's going to be huge going forward. And then Tate Hermanson, I mean, he's been huge. Really thrown into this position last year because of a couple of injuries. A Cedar Falls team that was beat up so badly. I think the quarterback battle is where it's at, but we can't forget out the running game. Elijah Porter went off last week, 3 touchdowns against Waukee, pretty much looked unstoppable. And then Drake Gelhaus. So offensively, I think this is going to be a really solid game. The defenses are good, don't get me wrong, but expect quite a few points tonight, Paul.
Last thing before you go, Blake. Tim and I kind of talked about it a little bit in the passing game in the open with Chase Shuddy, obviously the first target. But were you surprised at all to see how evenly other receivers got into the action?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think Shuddy is big with that size. I mean, that's the big thing. But once Trenton Smith started spreading the ball around, it gave Waukee last week a couple more chances to sit back and say, okay, we can't just guard Chase Shuddy. Shuddy is the big option on third down. You'll see that with Centennial tonight. But definitely, if you can open up the play action a little bit more, give Cedar Falls a couple more chances to look. And you talk about trying to get away from Drew Campbell, you can get away from him by using a lot of different targets tonight.
Blake Walker, sideline all night tonight. Thank you, sir. 12 minutes are on the clock. Cedar Falls has won the toss. They have deferred. So Centennial will get the ball first with their offense. Tim, as we close up the pregame show keys to this ball game tonight, what do you see for Cedar Falls?
Cedar Falls, if they can get the passing game, they haven't had as much success. It's been very, very short routes. If they get the passing game going, stretch the defense out against a very aggressive, physical Centennial defense.
And for Centennial, what do you see as keys?
I think if they get the running game going earlier than later, if they can get that established, and then if they can control that defensive line, that aggressive athletic front that Cedar Falls has, they can control it early, they can have success.
Centennial is huddled on the near side at the 40. They'll make their way out, and coming out is Cedar Falls to kick things off. The man who gets the football is Derek Woods, the senior. He'll tee it up from Actually, that's not Derek Woods. That is Jake Holstein. And back deep is Max Snyder and Nick Severson. The Jaguars are in those all-black uniforms, trimmed with white stripes down the left, 3 of them, a large one in the middle with 2 narrow stripes, and then the jersey is the same way, all black with white numbers. Cedar Falls, all white, trimmed in red with red numbers, white helmets. Holstein will tee it up here as we approach 7 o'clock. It's time for kickoff on Friday, September the 16th. Week 4 of the season is underway. High end-over-end kick takes Snyder 4 yards deep. He lets it go, and the Jaguar offense will come out to the field. One thing we haven't talked about, Tim, is the offensive line. A couple of different switches. Tyler Eisentrager is going to play center tonight in for Bennett Griffin. That means Lucas Jurovich is going to have to play that guard position, a sophomore. They're beat up front. They're still trying to find all the pieces that were there last year for this year. I know you'll be watching to see who's lathered up first.
That's right, yeah. The thing is the line, and then also the running back. So he gets, I think it's kind of a combination. They have to work together.
Smith will take the first snap from the gun. It's a second man through, and they go to a guy, of course, who doesn't have his. They go with number 8, Eli Porter. His 8 looks like a 0 from afar. I got to get used to these new digits. No gain on the play. In fact, he lost a yard. It'll be second down.
Watch it look like Noah Tyler in there for defense coming in, also followed by Drew Gertis. We're going to be mentioning Drew Gertis a lot, the middle linebacker for this 4-3 defense of Cedar Falls.
2 receivers to the left and right for Smith. Passing situation. Pocket ticks away. He's hit as he throws, and it's short. He was trying to get it to Max Snyder, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long.
Jordan Jones-Whitaker, number 97, the 6-foot, 267-pound senior coming in from his tackle position, putting a lot of pressure in the face of Trenton Smith, having a hard time getting rid of it. So this defense has stepped up, lost a yard in 2 plays. So 3rd 11s makes the defense loves those down and distances.
Well, we're focusing in there on Drew Campbell. He's done his part to make his presence felt. He's on that right side of the offensive line. Severson and Langford are out. Morgan is in for the snap here on 3rd down. Smith with time, throws it downfield. It's almost caught by Eli Porter, incomplete.
Porter came out of the backfield. You lined up in the line, took the hash mark straight up the field. He was open, but he had a high grab, kind of a high throw there. Would have been a really, really good catch. But they're willing to test him deep. So now we'll see the exchange on downs here in Cedar Falls. If they catch it and return it, they'll have really good field position.
Porter is wearing number 0, not number 8. I wasn't seeing things the first time. Come with the jersey change, new numbers. First punt is away from Easton Miller, hits at the 49 and takes a Jaguar roll into Tiger territory. Well, it'll be down at about the 37-yard line. That'll be where the Tigers have their first offensive possession. They'll bring out Tate Hermanson, Drake Gelhaus, Shane Buskell, Derek Woods, Logan Rowe, Ethan Beneke. Up front, Jacob Peters, Holden Simmer, Ty Koltoff, John Henry Hines, and Will Tompkins. Offense hasn't had a lot of yards or stats, but that doesn't mean they haven't been effective so far this season. Let's see what they do here on 1st down. Ball at the 37-yard line. 1st down, Hermanson goes under center, sends his receiver, Caden Smith, in motion. First play, Gelhaus up the middle. He's hit on initial contact and then ripped at about the line of scrimmage and not much more. Coming up for the stop is Hudson Simon, who we didn't think was going to play tonight, but is back.
Tiger got in there and caused an initial hit that Gelhaus bounced off of to get barely 2 yards on that play. No tight end look, 11 personnel. There's a tight end, yes.
Hermanson in the gun on a hurry-up offense. 3-step drop, sets his feet, throws. Ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Man who got his hand on it was Brody Taggart. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. There's a look at Brody right there. Good-looking kid. 3rd year he's been starting is in football and in track. He had 7 tackles against Indianola, 21.5 on the season, and now had a tipped pass to his stat line. Tigers send 3 to the top of the formation. Hermanson has his safety valve. Now he's going to tuck it and is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Colton Kitt adds to his 18 tackles on the season on a huge loss of that play, and it'll be 4th and long.
Bit of a stud play there. They put Taggart up on the line. He took an inside rush, caused the quarterback to dance a little bit, and then Colton Kidd came in and finished the job. So exchange of punts here early on in the game.
Loss of 7 on the play. First punt coming for Cedar Falls at the 9:40 mark. Low snap, picked up off the turf. Low line, end-over-end kick taken at the 30 by Severson. Gets a block from Hudson Simon, and the flag comes out, and the Centennial fans not real pleased about that one. Now, we do have a mic'd-up official, and we will be able to hear it.
It's a judgment call there, but if the player can't see you coming in, it's for player safety. It's maybe in college it's legal, but you want it for the player's safety. They want to be able to see the guy blocking him. And they're probably going to call that every time.
The player for Cedar Falls who was taken down was Drew Gertis. So let's go down to Blake Walker for our first check-in in-game with him. Normally we come after a score, but Blake, it's been all defense so far. What else have you seen?
This thing's been won in the trenches here early. I mean, both offense lines struggling here early. I know we've had a couple injuries on the line, and that's been huge. Both quarterbacks really don't have a lot of time, and that's the same thing with Trenton Smith here on the backfield. Almost a little bit of confusion when your guards are already caught up to right when you're about to snap. So just something both teams got to work on. This is a big penalty here to move Ankeny Centennial back.
Blake, you're right there in front of the right side where we're seeing a lot of Drew Campbell. What did you see from him in those first 3 plays from scrimmage?
The left tackle, it's just they're trying to switch some guys out. The guard and left tackle are almost changing positions. Campbell, he's tall. He's not built like his brother. He's a little bit thinner, but he can just get such a good rush off the defensive side. It's causing a lot of problems for the Centennial offense right now, Paul.
Blake Walker on the sideline. Thank you. 1st and 10 goes all the way back to the 13-yard line, and already on the sideline, Jaguars are looking at some of the early plays on their return with some technology there, so kind of get a look and see what they're looking at so far. 1st and 10 for Smith. He's got Porter out of the backfield, caught at the 14. Juke step up to the 20-21-yard line, where he is brought down by Cedar Falls and the middle linebacker there, Ian Bowenkamp, with the tackle.
Having a quick pass play out to the right away from where Campbell lines up, see if that's going to be a pattern for the rest of the game.
Gain of 7 on the play. 2nd down, much more manageable than the last series for the Jaguars. Smith gives it to Porter. He has the 1st down across the 25, gets up to about the 27-yard line. Bowenkamp and also Drew Gertis comes in from that middle linebacker spot to make that tackle.
Ryan Keller out there leading the block from his tackle position. Downfield blocks getting into the linebackers usually results in some big runs.
Centennial goes pass, then run on the 2 plays, reverse from the first series. Let's see what they do on the 3rd play from 1st down. Turnaround handoff, Morgan gets in, out, and breaks free down the near sideline, and he's sent out of bounds right in front of the bench, and a late flag comes in. A couple extra going to be tacked on here as Carter Schultman extended that play past the white. We'll see it as you get a look at the official right there, Mike Morrissey. Let's watch the replay here, Tim. Morgan
took him down. He's clearly out of bounds, and he took him. If you would have just let him go and to the ground, but that's a little extra. Like I said, player safety is always going to be the concern of the officials, and it'll keep it under control. If you call it early, players adjust to it throughout the game.
Jaguars started with a penalty against them, now get one there in their favor. 1st and 10 from the 43. Switch front, offensive line jumps for Centennial on the shift right there on the line. It looked like
they want to get a jump to pull.
I don't think we're going to get I don't think we're getting as much of an explanation from the referee here tonight as we have in the past. Or maybe I'm just not listening enough.
Or maybe they cut his mic back a little bit.
Could be. 1st and 5, penalty against the Jaguars for illegal procedure. 8:16 to play, no score. Both teams with an offensive possession. Jaguars finally having some offense on their second drive. They go on a pass, caught. That's Lawson Langford.
Langford did a nice job getting there. The linebacker shot out to the flat. He settled in behind him. Quick little hitch route. Picked up a nice, 10-yard gain there on that first down play.
Pickup of 11 makes it 2nd and 4 from the 42. Jaguars huddle up. They send a receiver to the near side, which is that's Max Snyder. Again, the defensive line moves. Smith throws the ball, caught near a first down, and it is by Max Snyder. He takes himself down, but going to get the tackle is Ben Russell. The credit, he tags. Snyder doesn't need to, so Max picks up a reception. That is his 7th on the season.
Defensive line shifting to their left, trying to get a different gap assignment right before the snap, and got caught flat-footed when the ball was snapped.
2 receivers to the left. That's Severson and Snyder. Morgan not in the game. Instead, it's Porter. Eli gets the handoff, runs off left tackle, and gets a positive fumble. Ball comes out after the play. The officials say he is down. Gets inside the 25. It'll be 2nd down.
Eisentrager out there leading the block from his center position, which is hard. It's a tough adjustment to play a guard position. Then when you move a starter to a new position, it's not their primary. It also affects the entire offensive line. So making a good adjustment playing a new position.
Morgan in the backfield. Porter from that H-back position. In motion is Easton Miller, but Smith's going to keep it. Penalty flag comes down. That's going to be a tackle at about the line of scrimmage, where that was Bowenkamp. That was a hold call. It'll go against Centennial, so they'll redo the down if Cedar Falls accepts the penalty, which it looks like they are.
You're getting that tweener spot. You're there at the 33, so if you get on the 20, are you in 4-down territory? You're looking to kick a field goal, so they're close enough but not close enough for a field goal.
6:13, clock moving here. In the first quarter, much better offensive series for the Jaguars here on their second try. Smith looks downfield, throws, and it is intercepted by Cedar Falls. Langer, the interception. Drew Langer picks it off, and making the tackle is Riley Keller. Let's take a look at that replay again here, as Smith was kind of locked into the middle of the field and went right up to get it was Langer. The intended receiver was Severson, and it would have been enough for a first down, but instead it's a turnover, and the Tigers dodge a bullet.
Langer, one of those good athletes. Coach said he's a former swimmer. Stretched out there. They tend to have these longer arms over there, made a nice pick in the open field.
Under center goes Hermanson. Offset or I formation. They go Gelhaus up the middle, and not much there. Colton Kitt, Hudson Simon there. And also Josh Binstock. Can't believe we've gone this long without saying Binstock's name.
See, they're running a strength to their left side, being a right-handed quarterback. I watch where the tight end lines up. Here they're going with one person at the. They got a slot back, no tight end.
Gelhaus gets the handoff as the quarterback falls down. Kind of a hard time just to get to him. As a team, Cedar Falls coming into this game had run the ball 96 times, as had the Jaguars. Very similar statistics there for these two squads, but right now it's 3rd and long for Cedar Falls.
just what the Centennial defense wants to have and get that 3rd and long, challenge you in that passing game.
Rolling out to the near side is Hermanson. Throws off his back foot. His intended receiver would have been a first down, just a little too tall for Logan Rowe. Incomplete. And there is a penalty flag, I think, sitting there. Personal foul against Centennial, hit to the face, and so that keeps the Cedar Falls offense on the field.
Yeah, I think the microphone of the head referee is not working. It's cutting in and out. But, yes, it's sometimes you get up there, you're moving your hands, you take a shot to the shoulder pads, you miss, you catch someone in the face, they'll call that.
Ball goes all the way up to the 45-yard line of Cedar Falls. 4.5 to play. Hermanson goes back under center. Play action, rolls out to the right. Throws it, caught at the sticks. It's only a question if he's in, and he is. Catch made, far sideline. I think that's Derek Woods. And he catches it right at the sticks. They're going to move the chains. Gain of 10 for the Tigers.
Much more natural throwing position, rolling out to your right, because that's if you're right arm dominant, you can throw it while you're moving. When you roll to the left, you got to take an extra step to get your shoulders square because you can't throw against your body. So it's a slower developing pass play rolling out to your left. So you may see them doing more right rollouts, give the quarterback some room to move and get a pass off.
Ball right in front of our vantage point at the 45-yard line on the north side of the field. That's Jaguar territory. Rolling out again as Hermanson throws. Incomplete. A little too tall there for his intended receiver, which is Mitchell Drast.
The little left-hand rollout, ball comes out a little higher, trying to get that thrown around. So they'll see something out there. They got receivers running out routes, so that seems to be how they want to attack this defense. Hopefully it opens up some of their running lanes.
Darst is the name of the individual whose that pass was thrown at. Incomplete, 2nd down. Hermanson under center, and his right tackle moved. Or at least the guy on the far right side. I think the referee has the same mic audio input as what the dance team has had the last couple of weeks at halftime.
We know what he means.
I have to, it's helped tremendously to understand what's truly going on, because a lot of times you're just kind of, what? You know, you get spoiled once you have it in college and pros. Ball goes back to midfield. 2nd and 15 for the Tigers. High snap out of the gun. It's a quarterback keeper, and Hermanson's going to go down. Hudson Simon came on a bullet.
Yeah, Taggart there giving Jacob Peters all he could handle. Then the quarterback never really got set, was forced to run, look for a running lane. So that's as good as a penalty, but it also creates a loss of down. So it's 3rd down and lost another 4 yards on the play.
Tigers need to get all the way to the 35-yard line. That's 19 yards away. 3rd and 19. Not many 3rd and 19 plays in the book, but let's see what the Tigers try to do. They go screen. It's caught by Gelhaus, has a couple of blockers. He's up towards midfield and into Jaguar territory, where he gets about back to the original line of scrimmage before he is tackled by Connor Welch and also Nate Christensen there for the Jaguars. It'll be 4th and 9.
The big difference even when it's 3rd and long, you make up some yards, it still shortens the field for your punting. So they're punting from the 44 instead of the 50-yard line. So it does make a big difference in field possession.
Lucas Brule sits back at his own 10. High punt is going to go over to the right and take a Tiger bounce and fielded on the catch is Drew Gertis. Great special teams play will pin Centennial inside the 10 at the 5.
Looks like your pitching wedge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It checks up like that?
It bounces like that, and usually it has just a little more backspin when it lands, and then kind of goes a little closer back to the
Yeah, usually mine, there's like always a splash. If there's water, I'll probably find it. So it's not so much the green, it's the liquid, yeah.
Mine is much more straight up in the air and straight back down, hopefully in the right side. First and 10, ball on the 5, 2.5 to play here first quarter. Tigers move at the snap. The give is to Porter. He cuts it back up and gets across the 11-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play before Caleb Wayland makes the tackle for Cedar Falls. Hurry up offense for the Jaguars as they go tempo. They give it to Porter. Maybe a Jaguar moved at the snap, but no call. Up to the 20. That's going to be enough for a first down for Porter. The guy who made the interception on the last play, Drew Langer, makes the tackle there along with Drew Gertis.
You see Eric and Trick in there, number 42, playing basically a fullback, getting out there and blocking. So help create that running lane for Eli Porter to pick up the first down.
Oh, now we haven't seen the 3-back field in a while. Turnaround give is to Morgan. He is going to be tied up and cannot spin his way out of it. And the Tigers were there. They had his tail. Gertis again.
Yeah, Gertis in there. Also, Noah Tyler playing that defensive tackle position. Got in there. He didn't get credit with the tackle, but he was pushing that pile backwards. So even with all those running backs in there to create a running lane, he blew it up and causing the loss of down.
Yeah, and actually I think the first guy there was Noah Thayer.
Yeah,
Didn't
Thayer.
give him credit on that one. Ankeny and Southeast Polk are now tied at 7. Ankeny had struck first in that game. No score here with 1:03 to play, first quarter. Smith back to pass, goes for his big tight end Shuddy, caught at the 24. And then it's about 4 Tigers to bring him down. Gertis and Langer there for the Tigers.
I was watching, keep my eye on Campbell, did a bull rush on the tackle there. A lot of power. He does extend out there, and he'd be a handful to block all night long.
Third down coming for Centennial. They will have to snap it. Play clock at 10, game clock at 22. Easton Miller in the game. 3 seconds. 2. Smith takes the snap. Here comes Campbell on the heat. His throw. Caught somehow by Eli Porter at the 48-yard line. What a play by the Jaguars.
Caleb Whelan went up there, thought he was going to get a hand on it, didn't get a hand on it. And a great catch by Eli Porter up there, going up in the air and catching it and coming down with the reception for a first down at the end of the first quarter.
No score. We've played one. This is high school football. As we go to break, let's watch that play again. Nice throw into double coverage. Complete. Centennial's ball when we return.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
Community protectors.
And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
friends and neighbors.
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
Behind your everyday.
And we are.
Obsessively.
relentlessly.
At your service.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Pick up at 23 yards as time expires to end the first quarter. Jaguars had 3rd and 6, and they're able to convert. They go back to Morgan. Actually, it's Porter on the second man through. He's down the near sideline. He is going to be taken out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. And again, the guy who picked up the personal foul earlier on the late hit, Carter Schlotman, rides down Porter on that second man. Misdirection looks familiar. Old Centennial Ankeny offense.
Yeah, something we've seen before, the multiple back sets, but they're using the speed of Eli Porter because he does have that explosive ability. Once he got to the outside, he kicked in the jets and picking up some big play yardage.
First half stats real quick. Cedar Falls 20 yards passing, 6 negative yards rushing. Jaguars 58 passing, 54 rushing. Before the snap, we're going to have movement. No, encroachment.
The motion by Porter pulled the defensive end across. He thought the play had started. So you got to keep an eye on where your running backs are going, and don't get fooled by the early motion.
So it'll be a short 1st and 5, ball at the 32. No team has scored yet in this game. Kind of thought we'd see a lot of defense, maybe not as much offense. So 7 or 3 points might be huge in the outcome of this football game. Trio of running backs. Morgan gets it, and he rides the wave up to just short of the 26-yard line. He needed to get to the 27 for the first down, so move the chains. Gain of 6 for Morgan.
One thing the ball control does is not only is you control the clock, but one, you keep the defense on the field. And this constant having to play defense, these longer drives, tires them out. So it has a two-pronged effect if you can control the ball.
First down for Centennial. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. In the background is Porter. They give it to Porter. Fumble. Smith is hit. He falls back on it. Campbell making a play right there. Drew Campbell. You know, Coach talked about him as just being a mild-mannered guy, both him and his brother, these mild guys. Then they put the pads on, step on the field, and it's like a light switch.
Something would happen when they step inside the white lines. Could you imagine the food bill in that Campbell household with those two boys?
Not during training season.
No. They're probably glad to send one to college, just cut it in half.
Let the Iowa Athletic Department pay that bill. Again, Smith, run pass option caught by Snyder at the 15. He's inside, or at the 25 into the 20, near the first down. And I think he did pick it up, and he did.
That's when an effective running game comes in there, that they have to respect the fake handoff for the running game, a semi-rollout by Trenton out there, and he's going to have a receiver wide open in that short flat.
Gain of 13 for Snyder. Good enough for another Jaguar first down. Ball at the 15, 10:39 to play, second quarter. This has been a drive kept alive by some big plays, including one right before the quarter when Smith took a good shot from Campbell. He was able to complete the pass on a jump ball out of the reach of Caleb Weiland. Morgan is hit and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Colin Coonrod makes the tackle from his strong safety position. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds. Tell you what, we bring Blake up here to report, and we don't even go to him because there's been no scores. But maybe we're about to break that streak, Blake. You know, we'll get to you in a minute. Hold on there, buddy. If Jaguars kind of late here.
Blake goes to see if they want to burn a timeout.
I think that's what they're going to do. They're in no hurry, it looks like.
They're here inside the red zone. They want to make sure they get the right play called.
Timeout on the field. We'll step away. No score. 9:52 to play here before half.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Centennial is driving here, Tim. 2nd down and 11. Jaguars send 2 to the left. Tight formation on the right. Smith rolls out. Here comes some heat. Runs away from it. Extends the play. Throws downfield. It's caught by Severson, and he puts his head down to about the 4-yard line.
Trent got away from Derek Campbell. Put the ball in there in a crowd of people. White and black jerseys there. Severson comes up with the catch. He's been having some big catches there this game. Puts the ball inside the 5-yard line down to the 4.
Jaguars, there's a look at their replay. Smith just extended that play, able to roll out. They go quick up the gut with Easton Miller, and he's going to get inside to about the 1. When they need a touchdown, they seem to call on Easton.
And Bonekamp on the tackle there, coming from the backside. So they do a quick count.
Give again. Into the end zone is Easton Miller, and the Jaguars strike first.
Robin Cook in there on the tackle, just a little bit late to get his hands in there to stop him. So touchdown Centennial.
At the 9:6 or 9:17 mark, the extra point is up, and it is through the uprights for Cale Wiener. Jaguars 7, Tigers nothing. This is high school football on CISN.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Ave.
Easton Miller, another touchdown, his 4th on the season, 3rd on the ground. He's also scored 1 through the air as Severson's kick is boomed 8 yards deep in the end zone. Blake Walker, hey, you're still here.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. What'd you see on that drive?
I think Ankeny Centennial, just the push up front. And the offensive line, I mean, they're still getting beat a couple spots, but such impressive work by that 3 running back look. It's like Tim said, it's a couple almost fullback looks almost. That's what's getting the blocking up front for Centennial right now. Really impressive drive by Coach Pizzetti and his team.
We've seen the Jaguars thing the 3rd time this season, and they keep continuing to figure out the looks are just all different. This one is, maybe they found one that has worked. Let's see what the Tigers can do. Gelhaus is going to have a hard time going up the middle there. That is where the Tigers have just really had a hard time trying to get push up front with Simmer or Kolthoff up the middle. What do you got to do, Tim, if you're Cedar Falls on this drive?
They're going to have to go to the outside a little bit. That's where the ends are crashing down. You know, Brule is in there, but the ends are pinching or the outside linebackers. They can't get much of a hold there past the defensive line, so we're seeing only 2 or 3 yards per carry with the running back.
2nd down and 8. Under center. Langford throws, caught, top of the side of the formation, but out of bounds after a quick yard gain. That is Gerke, the stop. I didn't mention on that previous drive, Centennial went 13 plays, 95 yards. Remember, that thing started after a great special teams play by Cedar Falls, but the big part of that story, Tim, 5:14 goes off the clock.
And the big play over the middle of the catch by Eli Porter to move the chains.
3rd down, Tigers facing. Big play here, trying to keep their offense High snap to Hermanson. They go out of the backfield, Gelhaus, and he is going to be tackled at about the 23, which is short, but right at the tackle comes a penalty flag from the official right there in front.
Looks like legal hands in the back. Caden Smith trying to get a block on there on Brule, but he got him in the back, so they'll probably decline this penalty, creating a 4th down for Cedar Falls.
Gerke and English, they're going to pick up the flag. No penalties, so it will be 4th down.
There's also a loss on the play, on the pass play, so the only problem when you pass those is it's a safe pass, but if you're passing behind the chains on a 3rd down, you're relying on a lot to happen with the receiver making an open field move to get a 1st down.
Cedar Falls to punt again. Their punter is Jack Holstein. He gets it away. Fair catch called for at midfield and taken by Brule. Let's go back down to Blake Walker on that sideline. Blake, again, a quick 3 and out for Cedar Falls. I'm guessing that sideline, what are they talking about?
Right now, it's just been a lot of covering the ends. Zach English has been a huge problem for Cedar Falls here early. Talmadge has been a big problem. They're not really worried about the defensive or the ends, or excuse me, the linebackers and whatnot, but they just want the pressure up front, and they just want to be able to get the ball going because right now there's not a lot of running room up front for the Tigers.
7:37 to go. Jaguars have it. Short field, 49 yards. Porter gets the call. He makes his escape from the sideline or from the line of scrimmage and gets all the way down inside the 35 to the 31. Huge run from scrimmage there. That may be one of the biggest runs from scrimmage for Porter all season. Gain of 17.
Yeah, Lucas Jurovich, the sophomore lineman in there, getting a nice block on the outside. But a lot of that lane is when you cut inside the tackle, find that lane along the hash mark, then bounce it outside versus going the outside right away. Picks up a lot more yards because now you've got the defense stretched. You can find more running lanes.
Almost double his season high, which was 10 coming into tonight. 1st and 10 from the 32. Everything seems to be working for the Jaguars as Porter goes up into the air. And before he can go any further, he is going to be whistled down. Drew Gertis, who just as Coach says always has a knack for the football, finds it right there. Still, though, gain of 3. Good look at those Centennial new uniforms that we were talking about in the open. Chase Shuddy, you'll see, break the huddle and come to that line of scrimmage. Also, Eric Entrinken here on 2nd down. Smith rolls out, takes a shot as he throws downfield. This time, no rescue. Ian Bowenkamp was the one who pressured Smith.
That's a couple times where Trenton, to get the pass off, he's taken a full frontal hit by one of the defensive linemen. So at some point that can take that. He's throwing it up there to the open area. I'm surprised he's getting as much on the ball when he's in the process of getting hit. But luckily, it falls incomplete. Bring up a 2nd down. 3rd down.
Ball at the 29 for Centennial. Heading to that north end zone. Smith throws across the middle, caught, close to the sticks for Langford. Lawson playing with a heavy heart tonight. His grandfather, Jack Wright, we understand, is in the hospital, not doing well. So Lawson playing for a family member tonight. We wish his family the best as they deal with that situation. But Lawson there gets the job done, run the route at the sticks to move him.
Great catch across the middle. Getting crowd.
Morgan hit at the line and then bounces off the tackle. Jordan Jones Whitaker was there first. Guess I didn't look necessarily at Jordan. Is 6 foot 267. That's a big mountain right there that you got to get through.
That's a lot of guy to get around, and he was in there right away to disrupt the play. So They need more of that, because Porter's tend to is having his way tonight from the running back position.
Porter gets the call. He's got a blocker. Pulling on that play was Bo Carr. And they get inside the 15 to the 14. Third and very manageable for this offense as Easton Miller and Morgan come back in.
See if they come back in with that three-back formation, that heavy formation. Some people call it the Rhino formation, where they're really bringing in a double tight end and full running backs. But they've had a lot of success with that, with their running play.
Handoff. Second man through is Porter. He slips. He tripped on the 5-yard line. Otherwise, he's into the end zone.
Yeah, took that cut. There's a little bit of a lane there to the right. Took a cut, but that hole opened up. He was the second man through the misdirection. Looks like the old Centennial offensive game plan that we saw before, where a lot of misdirection running. And this is not an offense you see very often, so it's hard to defend. I think they said maybe only Xavier is the only other school that runs something similar to this offense.
First and goal from the 6. Morgan hit once, bounces off a guy, and then meets a whole lot of Tigers. Let's see, so 22 and 24, that would be Schlotman and Kuhnrott.
Yeah, he came in there, created a wall. See the wide side of the field here to the left. See if Trenton's been successful throwing the ball, either rolling out right or left. See if he wants to take advantage of the wide side. We have not seen a pass to Shuddy yet with his height. Would that be an advantage down here deep into the red zone?
I would think so. Yeah, I totally would think so. Timeout on the field, 3:25. Jaguars driving, facing second and goal with 3:25 to play here in the second quarter.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Not all used vehicles are created equal.
DeArmond certified used vehicles have a big advantage.
What sets us apart is that all used vehicles receive a 175-point inspection.
Carfax report, 2 oil changes, collision deductible coverage, and wheel dent and windshield repair.
Also, all DeArmond certified come with 2 warranties. A 1-year 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper and a 2-year 100,000-mile powertrain. DeArmond Ford Indianola, DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, DeArmondAuto.com.
Out of the timeout, Centennial driving. They lead 7-0, 3:25 to play here, second quarter. Smith from the gun. In motion goes Severson. They give it to Porter. Cut back. He makes the counter work for a touchdown. Eli Porter, 6-yard score for the Jags.
I don't know if you can see the replay. Looks like a nice zone blocking there. Everybody's blocking to the right. Porter just got to find the seam. He doesn't need much of a seam to make a score.
That was a perfect counter play there. It looked like, oh yeah, look at that seal block right there from, 65 on Wynn. Kind of sealed him off on that play. Great camera work there, guys. And the Jaguars, we have a down player. That's a Cedar Falls player.
There's a lot of bodies in that. It's caught in the wash there when you get those big linemen moving there. But the tackle sat there and sealed off the backside.
Let's watch it again here.
Looks like 79 was able to go there and seal it off.
That's Keller. And then, the final block there to free him up was Bo Carr. So both of those guys in there. So combo effort. That was purely a counter play the whole time. As Cedar Falls deals with this injury, we will step away for just a moment. You're watching high school football on CISM.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Caleb Weiland is the Tiger that's now off the turf and taken to the sideline. So setting up Cole Greider to hold the extra point attempt from Cal Wiener. Good snap, kick is up, and it is through the uprights. 14-0 Jaguars, 3:19 to play here. This is high school football from Ankeny Stadium on CISM.
When did strength become an ego thing? Strength is about more than you. It's about grit, work ethic, carrying your own weight, and still rising to new challenges, whether or not they happen during regular business hours. Because even for the strongest, there are no guarantees. But for those who wake up with the streetlights to make sure the world keeps moving, Western makes one promise: more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Big drive again by Centennial ends in a Porter touchdown. Porter 110 yards of total offense as that kick goes into the end zone. Touchback for Centennial. Blake Walker's down on the sidelines. He's been getting his steps in, and you see enough of that drive to see that maybe the offense is working for Centennial?
Now, is last week against Waukee was not a fluke. They clearly have figured something out on the offensive line. If they could just keep doing that, Cedar Falls, even if they're going to Drew Campbell, it's not really phasing Centennial at all. That's the point that Coach Pizzetti and his team wanted to get to. Don't be afraid of number 33. Let's get to the point where we can run right at him.
9-play, 49-yard drive, 4:18. So the two touchdown scoring drives here for Centennial, Tim, have taken up more than 9 minutes. Fumble, and the Jaguars think they have it.
No sign for the officials yet. Looking.
And Centennial will not recover, but right in there was Cole Greider. Gelhaus lucky to get that thing back.
Let's
watch the replay here, Tim. It was never in his hand, and they're almost to make the tackle. I think that was Brody Taggart was there. Second down. Loss of 2 on the play. Gelhaus toss sweep left side. Barely can get back to the line of scrimmage, but does get up to the 20. Gets those 2 yards back.
Substitutions in there in the defense, bringing in more of a defensive backs. Now that you have a 3rd and 10, you're going to cover more of the field. Look like Centennial probably bringing the 3-man rush, keeping 4 linebackers back in coverage. The Cedar Falls has tended to throw short underneath the coverage. Now you're looking at good open field tackling.
14-0 Jaguar lead. Big 3rd down play at 2:02 to go. Hermanson Goes to the line. 2 receivers to his left and 1 to his right. Play clock goes at 0. They get the snap off. Gelhaus gets the ball up to about the 25, but it's going to be well short of the first down. Clock moving. If you're Cedar Falls, you have the timeout taken by Centennial to preserve the final 1:49, and that's when we'll return in a moment.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Do you know what the best part about being a dog is? You can hear disaster before it even happens. You know what they say about disaster? Sometimes it can inspire a symphony. An honest day's work deserves an honest day's treat.
No extra charge.
And that is why we choose Honest Wrenches. No extra charge. And it's how service should be.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. Waukee Chevy.
Severson takes the hit takes the punt at the 40, return of about 10 yards before he is knocked out of bounds right here on the sideline. Drew Langer as Severson there on the return. All right, what do you think here, Tim? Minute 38, no timeouts left for Centennial. Are we going to truly see how wide open this offense is for the Silver and Black?
I think they got a couple plays called. I would go back to Porter. He's been the one that's been the bill call. I think he could break one and then save your passing for under a minute to have about 40 seconds left. I think they're going to run it because they can probably pick up quite a few yards to get inside the 30.
Porter goes out to the right. Smith steps in front of the pressure. He's going to tuck and run and then duck out of bounds at the 40. And boy, you got to lay off right there. It's going to be another extra penalty if you're not careful there, Langer. But he lets go right at the sticks.
Trent Smith's a long strider. He gets out there, starts running and try to want to go to the sideline. Looks like he has enough for the first down right at the stick. So running play, gets out of bounds, picks up a first down, and the clock stops. So exactly in the Pizzetti game plan.
1:29 to play. Smith again. Going to throw it. And playing defense, Severson had to on that play, nearly picked off by the Tigers. Colin Coonrod.
Yeah, he was right there. It was in his hands, and luckily Severson went there from behind, knocked the ball loose. Otherwise, that would have been an interception there at the 35-yard line. So now we'll see. I still think that they're trying to find a lane for Shetty to get open. He's got that height, or the little swing passes. They did the last 2 plays ago. Porter did a little swing route to the right. See if they want to utilize that again.
4 different Jaguars have caught a pass in this first half. Here comes some heat. The screen gets away to Porter. He bowls his way down again, gets very close. Actually, they're going to say he was down before the sticks, up at the 32. Clock moving. 1:10 to play.
Lots of time there at the 32. There's a minute left. Key to pick up the first down here.
Smith looks to the left, has time, steps in front. Throws off his back foot, caught by Severson at the 20. Stiff arms a man. He's at the 15. Tries to get to the outside, now to the 5. Dives for the pylon. He's going to be out of bounds, just short at the 2.
Coming across the formation from the right side, came across the middle there. Took a juke, ran parallel, then put a stiff arm out there and picked up most of those yards on his own.
Gain of 30 on that play? Wow. Thought it was maybe 25, but
here you can run the ball. You got plenty of time to have a running play.
49 seconds to go. Smith goes under center. Gives it to Porter. He gets about the half-foot line short of a touchdown.
No
Clock
need to
at
rush. You
40.
got 43 seconds. There's lots of time.
Smith goes back under center. He might just keep it on this one. Instead, they go Porter again. He bowls his way through and gets in for a touchdown. Last guy off the pile getting the high five from the other guys is Kevin Jones. And you see Bo Carr came running out of the end zone, but Tigers just not able to keep the Jaguars off the board with 28 seconds to play here before half. Wiener's extra point attempt is good, and it's 21-0. Centennial here with 28 seconds to play.
What they call a snow day, we call a work day. And the resume I leave behind is nothing but clean pavement. That's why I stay prepared for all the depths of winter. With a plow that won't back down from a little overtime and takes care of business beyond 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9 without skipping a beat. A plow you'd call a real MVP, the kind only Western builds, to get more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Eli Porter, his second touchdown of the half, the first of 6, the most recent of 2. Jaguars lead 21-0. Easton Miller also a score for the Jags. Kick from Severson is a touchback again. Blake Walker is still here, and Blake, we're making up for lost time here all of a sudden. I think Coach Pizzetti just sent me a text. He needs you to be at all of their games from the rest of the season.
I tell you what, they look really good. I think one of the biggest things I'm noticing so far, Paul, a lot of hands-on hits for Cedar Falls. Their offense is only sitting out here for like 3 and out, maybe 2 quick little possessions, or that's it. 2 quick first downs. That's really hurting this defense. It's helping Centennial get such a good push up front.
28 seconds, 3 timeouts. Thank you, Blake Walker. Let's see what the Tigers do here. They're going to toss it to Gelhaus. He'll get to the left side. He's going to get about 5-6 yards. And in fact, he's going to get almost 7. But the clock is going to keep moving. Finally, some positive yardage here for Cedar Falls. They've had only 8 yards positive. And it all came, 7 of them just came on that play.
They've had to let the clock run, but I think that toss play might be better for them to get the ball to the outside than trying to run inside on that stout Centennial defense.
Well, Blake is going to chase down either Jerry or Ryan Pizzetti, one of the co-head coaches, and we'll talk to them in just a moment. But as we are going to halftime, it is 21-0. It's been all Centennial in this second quarter. It was a little closer there in that first quarter, but things have just kept moving. 242 yards of offense, 128 through the air, 114 from the ground. Blake is down the field with Ryan Pizzetti.
Coach Ryan Pizzetti, Coach, what was the biggest takeaway from your really good first half on offense?
You know what? Just a lot of balance, completing passes, nice runs by our backs. Offensive line's doing an outstanding job. I just need to keep it up as we go forward. That's an outstanding defensive team for Cedar Falls. We're executing, but things can change just in a minute.
What's the adjustment, or is there anything that you want to change here going in the locker room?
Just more balance. You know, we had a few mistakes early. Had to pick that. We had a guy line up wrong, didn't run the right routes. But we'll fix that. And then I had a couple other things go wrong, but very pleased from start to finish there. Thank you, Coach. Thanks.
All right, Paul, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Blake. Ryan Pizzetti at halftime. And I forgot to even say what we're going to do at halftime. We're going to be talking to one of the best volleyball coaches in all of Iowa, Jessica Reinhardt. of Centennial. They're a rough front schedule, incredibly powerful squad. We'll hear about that and some of her outstanding players when we come back at halftime. Centennial of Ankeny 21, Cedar Falls 0. This is high school football on CISN.
All love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
When you need to conquer the drifts on your property, get the job done your way. The Western Defender Compact Snowplow. All the professional grade features in just the right size for your mid-sized pickup or SUV. Easy to attach and easy to use. Get the performance to plow like this and finish like this. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Mornings. They can be hectic.
Let's go.
So can your car. So to get a free pickup, drop-off, or delivery, head over to Honest Wrenches. And their loaner vehicles?
No extra charge.
Find your peace of mind with even more wonderful services.
Every vehicle that comes in gets a full visual inspection and a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty. No extra charge.
Head on over to Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
Back here at halftime on CISN, it's Jessica Reinhardt. Time to talk Jaguar volleyball coach. How you doing?
I'm good.
This season already, as we get to the latter part of September, it goes fast. And you've had quite the early tough season. I'm going to guess that was by design.
Some of it is within our control and some of it isn't, based upon who signs up for tournaments, etc. But yeah, we've certainly had plenty of opportunities with tough competition early on to figure out where we're at.
You played, I think, PV and Cedar Falls, both good teams from outside of the area. What did those two matches teach your team or tell you about your team?
Actually, we played both of them super tough. We felt sick about the Cedar Falls match. We won the first one, we were up 8-1, and we let that lead slide. And then against PV, we went 3. It could have gone either way. So they told us a couple things. They told us that we're right there with the best teams in the state. But then they also told us we need to be a little bit more mentally tough and learn how to fight when the pressure's on. So I guess I was grateful that they revealed both of those things.
And those are traits that are very good to have in, say, the month of November.
Exactly. We saw it early on. We know where we need to get and what we need to do. And that's where we want to be exactly in November.
The tournament that you played, Cedar Falls, which tournament was that?
That was our home tournament.
Yeah. And you've staffed that thing. I mean, I look at the competition on there. Do you have coaches? Do you have to tell some coaches no?
We have had to tell a couple coaches no, but usually teams cycle through, or they'll have a down year and they're like, I don't want to play in that thing. It really has become a monster and kind of like a mini 5A state tournament, in addition to some really other good smaller school teams. So yeah, the tournament's a beast and it's first weekend, but it's only half an indicator maybe of what your season can be, because it is so early. So it's just a good test early.
And that is, I look at that group of teams that come, you talk about the cycles. Do you ever have an off cycle with your program?
We have 1 year we didn't make it to state, and that was really hard and sad. But we also, we have people that are ready to go year after year after year. And it's so exciting to take a new group and let them have their opportunity to see what they can do.
And you have a number of ways that you get there, and it pretty much starts in what, second grade, third grade?
We do have some youngins that are playing through our club program, and they start early, really excited about Jaguar volleyball and playing a lot, and that passion just kind of keeps growing.
What I'm told about volleyball, and I would agree, is that it's not one of those skills that you can kind of just pick up in seventh grade and be fine. Why is it so important to start early and play a lot?
It's just very skill-based and fundamental-based. And, we see such growth from even second to third and third to fourth. So just the more times you touch a volleyball, the younger you are with good form, the better you become. So when someone picks it up a little bit later, there's years before them of people touching volleyballs with good form. And it's just a little bit harder to pick up.
And you get involved with that and, maybe help the coaches that are helping you at those programs and working together. Where did that idea come from?
Well, when I got up here, WIMS, there was an AVBA program in Ankeny, but that was run by somebody else. And then he would ask us just to kind of help out, with some of the AAU teams or run a camp so that more people could be on the same page in terms of what the fundamentals should be. So it really kind of just started with camps that Dave and I, WIMS on the other side, we're both running to help the AAU program that was already in Ankeny. And then Wayne Rude was the guy's name, and he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And it was an animal and it takes a ton of time. And so it just kind of split and became each school's responsibility to try to grow those programs and continue to help foster youth volleyball. And then I have 2 girls now that are within those ages. And so that was just another way to have more people around the game. Right. And now I'm coaching them.
All right, let's talk about the girls that you have. Let's go seniors first. Who's emerged for you this year?
We've got an awesome group. Seniors, we have Reagan. Angus is our setter, and she runs between a 5'1" and a 6'2", depending on where we're at in the match. She's done a really good job, great leader for us. Taylor Betchen has been our libero, and she's been a rock star and a really good leader off the court. Delaney Winkle is a 6 rotation outside. All 3 of those players have been on varsity for 3 years, and so they come with a lot of experience. And they've done a great job stepping up into those bigger roles for them this year. We have Kendra Kasperbauer. She is another one of our outsides and just a really good competitor. She's got a good loud court voice. So we all look to her for her loud voice, but she's done a great job. Hannah is a big right side for us. And she plays with Jada Schmidt, who it kind of emerged, like she was a late bloomer. And she can do some huge things on the right side also. So those kiddos, and I don't have a roster in front of me, I hope off the top of my head I didn't forget anybody, but all those seniors have played really big roles for us.
And Jada, is she going to get dad's height? Is that going to catch up?
Jada is dad. She is her dad's clone. And she does. She has great height. And as tall as she is, she jumps phenomenally. So she can be a beast. So we're just trying to get her comfortable on the court. She didn't have a ton of varsity experience, but I think the more and more the season goes on, I think she's just going to get better and better.
Well, and her mom wasn't too bad of a volleyball player or athlete either.
I know. I hear her mom was really good. Now her mom's coaching our 8th grade program.
That's what I heard.
90 kids.
Let's quickly get into your juniors and sophomores then.
There is another DS in the senior class, and her name's Maya Rogers. And she helps us out in the back row too.
Fantastic.
Okay. Juniors. Let me think here. You're putting me on the spot.
I know. I should have. I always do that to coaches. I make them pick. Who do you forget? Who don't you forget?
Well, we have Anna Sash, and she is a middle for us. She's got a humongous block, and she had a really big match against Pella, in which she was on fire. So that was fun. And then we have Addie Pollock. She's a third setter for us. And Cam. Cam also has seen some setting time, and we use her in the front row when we need a bigger block to set there. So Cam's another one on the roster.
And then you have a couple of sophomores that have been contributing as well. That one I know for sure was there as a freshman and now keeps playing as a sophomore.
Yes, we have Jaden Pratt, and she is a freak athlete. She is so fast. She's so fun on the court because she can save a ton of balls that just an average person can't. And she's a competitor. So, and we have Jaden, and then we have Delaney Miller, who is a 6 rotation outside for us, and just kind of developed into that role this season. And she's very dynamic. She's competitive. She's got a great head. And it's fun to watch those two little sophomores do their thing. So they're good little athletes for us.
Oh yeah. Jada was fun to watch in volleyball last year, and not too bad in basketball either.
Right. She's had some Division I basketball offers, and I think that's the way she's leaning. But I mean, I think she'd be great either way.
You've seen a few, you'd know.
Right.
Last thoughts on your team here as you move forward towards the postseason, Coach.
I mean, I like them. I think that we've always said our best ball beats everyone's best ball. We just have to figure out how to live there. So the more consistent we can become, the more mentally tough we can become in high pressure situations, this team can do good things and big things. So we're going to continue to scrap with the top 8, hopefully stay in the top 8, and then start to take those matches later here in the season.
All right, Coach, I appreciate it. Look forward to watching your team play. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, that's Coach Jessica Reinhardt of the Centennial Jaguar Volleyball. Halftime continues right after this.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors, and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa,
Centennial in control, 21-0 here against Cedar Falls. This is CISN. Along with Tim Halber, I'm Paul Yeager. Blake Walker will be with us in just a moment. He's chasing down the Cedar Falls coaching staff, Brad Rammert. So we take a look at some of the first half statistics for Cedar Falls. 8 rushing yards, 22 passing yards for a total of 30. Centennial is 10 of 15 passing for 128 yards. They've rushed the ball 23 times for 114. That's a total of 242. Morgan, 21 rushing yards. Porter, 13 carries, 81 yards. Porter also has 3 catches for 38 yards. 42 yards receiving for Severson, 19 for Langford. Tim, as you look at these Centennial stats, what jumps out to you?
We talked about during the pregame, Coach wanted to find balance. Yes, Porter's been the workhorse, 13 carries for 81 yards, but he's also caught 3 passes. Morgan's ran the ball. We're seeing the passing being distributed equally, looking at 4 different receivers, not one to Shuddy, which was their big target. So I find a lot of balance in there. They controlled the clock majority of the first half. That made that Cedar Falls defense tired, so that's exactly what they want to do.
Now, I don't know what's going on in the Ankeny game. Last check, they're leading Southeast Polk going into halftime 21-9 or 21-7. I was telling somebody that, maybe Ankeny needs to not target JMO. Do you think Centennial's not targeting Shuddy and they're trying to disperse it to other guys, because they know the teams are keying up for that?
I think early on in the season, he was the guy until everybody else stepped up. I know that Severson has played also, and Max Snyder had their roles, but the more balance they have, that offense, it spreads. You can play more of the field, sideline to sideline. So I think that's not relying on him. They found some confidence in their other guys, gives them confidence. A balanced team, and we saw the old running attack come back with the fullback.
All right, let's go down to the sideline. Our Blake Walker has a guest. Blake?
Hey, thanks, Paul. Down here with Coach Rammert. Coach, not the first half you were looking for. What was the message in the locker room?
Hey, we got to be consistent on both sides of the football. You look, we had some opportunities. We had field position in the first quarter that we didn't take care of, and they got it in the second quarter and put some pressure on us with some points. But we got to move the football offensively.
What's the biggest thing that's going to get you into this game here starting this second half?
We got to put ourselves in second and short and third and short offensively. If we're 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, that's not a good down for us, and we've been in that a few too many times tonight.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck. Paul, back to you.
Coach Brad Rammert, love talking to him. Yeah. I could talk to him all day. He's at a spot where you've rushed the ball 10 times. You're negative on your per carry, or at least below 1. You've tried to run some stuff to the outside. You've tried to run some stuff into the middle. What do you do?
I think you look at your blocking schemes, so something has to adjust there. They start running, instead of handing off to the tailback, they start doing some more things to Gelhaus, doing some toss plays, get him to the outside, find the lane out there, get him outside quicker because he doesn't get out there with the blocking. Setting it up might get the rollout going. They need to get a few first downs. Coach is exactly right. They had a lot of 2nd and 10, 3rd and 8, and then you try to make a living off that. They didn't have a consistency to have that offense get a roll, get the defense off the field. So trying to get some first downs, establish some consistency.
Many games at half. Ankeny is leading Southeast Polk 21-7. Waukee Northwest in front of Johnson 14-love. Valley is blanking Waukee 17-0. Roosevelt was leading Urbandale, but Urbandale has now taken that lead in the break 9-7. Dowling leads City High, which was a 7:30 start. 14-0 is the score there. You can see the Dowling and the Waukee Northwest games also on CISN. Here, it's 21-0 Centennial in front of the Tigers. You can see the Cedar Falls team headed back to the sideline. Jaguars still going through some stretches. We'll stretch our legs one more time and bring you half number 2 in a moment. This is high school football on CISN.
Used vehicles are created equal.
DeArmond certified used vehicles have a big advantage.
What sets us apart is that all used vehicles receive a 175-point inspection.
Carfax report, 2 oil changes, collision deductible coverage, and wheel dent and windshield repair.
Also, all DeArmond certified come with 2 warranties. A 1-year 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper and a 2-year 100,000-mile powertrain. DeArmond Ford Indianola, DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, DeArmondAuto.com.
Mornings. They can be hectic.
Let's go.
So can your car. So to get free pickup, drop-off, or delivery, head over to Honest Wrenches. And their loaner vehicles?
No extra charge.
Find your peace of mind with even more wonderful services.
Every vehicle that comes in gets a full visual inspection and a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty. No extra charge.
Head on over to Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
Halftime is nearing completion. Centennial will get the football. Actually, Cedar Falls will get the football as Centennial was able to start the game. And the question is, any Iowa State coaches here? I have word that there might be a Cyclone coach. I'm sorry. A guy who doubles, he's his second job. He's also the Gilbert 6th grade softball coach.
You wouldn't have to take the plane. You could get done your. It's not me.
Campbell watching Campbell, don't you think?
Yes.
As look around here to see if we see him in the sidelines. Possibly he is here. So I think you're looking at Drew Campbell. Let's pump him up a little bit. Early on that first drive, Centennial had to kind of avoid him, but now he seems to have been not quite the factor. Is there a specific reason for that?
They found a way to neutralize him, and plus they're running some quick hits. That I think the additional running backs, when they bring the 2 or 3 running back set in there, it slows down the rush because you're having to read the running back who has the ball, that misdirection. So they found a way to slow him down that he needs to read. A few times I saw him bull rush there, putting the tackle on his backside because he can do that. So you take away his strength. He's still there. We saw some good stops there, but that defense spent way too much time on the field that first half.
We'll tee it up here, 21-0 as the Centennial student section making a little bit of noise as they've had plenty to cheer about here in the first half. It was a slow start, but lots of drives ending in touchdowns. In fact, the last 3 for Centennial, they've only had to punt one time. They had an interception on a turnover, but drives of 5-14, 4-18, and 1-10 will certainly keep your offense on the field, and that's one thing that Cedar Falls is going to have to do, Tim. They have got to get a first down here.
They do. See what they come out there. What adjustments they make? Because halftime really is about adjustments, and then that first drive coming out of the locker room that establishes what's your attitude going into this game. What are they going to do? They find something. Even if they get a couple first downs and have to punt, if they move it to midfield, I would say that's a success based on their first half performance.
Still plenty of Jaguars on the sidelines in crutches. Bo Carter getting attended to right now as he is not due on the field yet. Hermanson is going to have to get rid of it in a hurry as he was being pressured by Zach English. The intended receiver was Logan Rowe. He was covered by Easton Miller and Connor Welch. Asked about Welch this week with Coach Pizzetti, and I said, I haven't seen, is Connor going to more offense, more defense? He says, we need him on defense, and he is going to line up here single coverage on Woods on that near side. We haven't seen Welch. We did in those early couple of games, but he is playing defense, and this defense is playing well, pitching a shutout so far, 2nd and 10. Gelhaus gets the call left side, and he's got some running room up the middle. And he's going to be across midfield. Welch is going to try to make a touchdown-saving tackle. He's able to hold up Gelhaus. Gelhaus basically gets the entire yard. They only had 55 rushing yards coming in that, and he picks up 46 on that play. Let's watch it again.
Welch having to come from playing the left corner back there, had to run across the field and cut off the pursuit. Jumping Dre Gelhaus. That opened up right up the middle, so they saw a blocking assignment there, so that's been the best play they've had by far this game.
Welch and Greider team up. Great look on that one, guys. 11-20. Cedar Falls moving. They throw the football far side, caught, but no more yardage after that by Tate Bakula. He picks up 4 on that play, 2nd down.
That's been one of their better first down plays, picking up 4 yards, but it sets up your because the coaches are watching what's the defensive backs doing, how are they reacting to that first down play on that formation. When they do that out, are they creeping up? Are you seeing a cover 2? Is there a safety over the top? Storing that for later on in the game if there's an out and up is an opportunity to take advantage of that look again.
Hermanson under center. Sends a man in motion. Toss sweep. Gelhaus gets past the pursuit and gets to the outside. Talmadge misses. Still on his feet. Gelhaus down the left sideline. He is going to get into the end zone. Touchdown. 30-yard score. Not very long for the Tigers, and they are in the end zone. That's one way to start the second half, Tim.
Yeah, we talked about how you come out the second half sets the tone. I think that was a 4-play drive, 4 or maybe 5-play drive. Definitely make a statement there. You don't want your defense to relax too much. Basically, that was all Gelhaus.
On to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 21-7. Just like that, Tigers back into this ball game from Ankeny Stadium.
1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Only took 4 plays. Tigers in the end zone, 80 yards. Gelhaus the score. Big first possession for Cedar Falls. All of a sudden, they are at 110 yards of offense. And kicking it off, who is Holstein, and he kicked the extra point. Taken on that far sideline by the Jaguars is Severson. He is going to go a long way down that far sideline. I'm going to say he's out of bounds just short of midfield at the 48-yard play. There is a penalty flag on the play.
Someone dropped their laundry.
Yeah, holding number 15. 15-yard penalty.
That'll make a coach talk to you on the sideline.
Colton Kitt whistled for that one. So now the Jaguar, which would have been it was like a 40, was returned to the 48, but it was only about a 47, 46-yard return. And had a little help.
And that's always a hard block on the kickoff return because you want to reach and then you get your hands extended too far from your body. It looks like you're pushing him, and then that's going to get called 9 times out of 10.
We'll check in with Blake Walker after this play. First down and 10 for the Jaguars. Start at their own 22. They go back to what they did in the first half. Throw the football. Smith is under pressure. He's going to tuck it and get upfield. Makes a man miss. And then has stood up at about the 30. Blake Walker, what'd you think of that first drive?
I think they're looking at a possible fumble there. I think they're going to say he's down. There's new life on the Cedar Falls sideline, Paul. There was none before. Now everybody's woken up just a little bit. This could be a big stop for Cedar Falls here. Starting to get things together. Centennial a little lazy out of the locker room. We'll see if they can clean that up here.
We'll just say maybe not as focused. How about that? But I think, we have a penalty even before the snap. The umpire came and threw that one. Unsportsmanlike on the defense.
Before that, no one is on the line, and that's the major 15-yarder, so.
Magic words?
Could have talked about someone's family, and that usually can do it out there, but it seems like it's odd. Someone had heard it, and I'm assuming. I don't want to make too many assumptions.
Smith on first down gives it to Porter right side. He's got a bunch of black shirts. Gets a couple of yards across the 45-yard line before Bowenkamp. Also the big D tackle, Jordan Jones-Whitaker there.
Go back to what worked in the first half, giving the ball, to Eli Porter, who's had a lot of success out there, and then he just follows that big offensive line. He's really good at picking out the hole. He just needs a small crease and planting that foot and cutting it inside, taking it up through the seam.
8:58, clock moving, play clock down to 5. Jaguars are going to have to hurry here. 2nd down and 7. 2-1. Smith is not going to get it off. Timeout, Jaguars. It's 21-7. Back in a moment.
All love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
2nd and 7. Smith goes to Porter out of the backfield. Gets sprung up to about midfield into the Tiger territory, and he will get a first down. Blake Walker, did you see either of those 2 penalties when we were talking to you?
Yeah, so the middle of the field penalty, the 2 linebackers were still arguing about that call, the fumble that was not called while I was talking. They were trying to get after the ref and say, hey, can we at least think about it? Ref didn't like it. He threw the flag.
They didn't call Boone?
No.
Okay. All right, thanks, Blake. 1st and 10 for the Jaguars. 21-7, 18 to play. 3rd quarter. Smith gives it to Morgan off right tackle, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe 2 more. Off the pile last is Colin Coonrod.
Positive yards there.
But 3 yards. I mean, there's been times Centennial hadn't been able to get 3 yards.
Looks like their zone block is the easiest way to pick up where the linemen are. Cedar Falls does a shift right before the snap to throw off, a called blocking assignment, trying to find that gap in there. So right now, Centennial's winning.
High snap. Morgan is the fake. Smith keeps it and then gets out of bounds. And he is escorted there by Drew Gertis. Gertis is one of those guys that they needed for leadership. We talked about some of the injuries that Cedar Falls has had the last couple of years, a starting quarterback, then another quarterback, and a wide receiver, and running back, and it leaves a vacuum. And the other thing that Coach Rammert, he started saying, well, we got this guy back out for his senior year, this guy back out. I said, you did a great job recruiting, and more times than not, Tim, these coaches are getting guys back out. Normally, if they can get them through sophomore year, even as starters as sophomores, they'll play junior year, but that just didn't happen. He got a couple of those athletes back. Smith steps up under pressure, makes a man miss, gets up very, very close to the sticks before he is brought down on that play by Noah Thayer.
Good vision and movement there by Trenton to get the first down, making a move. He doesn't need to break a lot of tackles, but he got the first down marker. That's a good point. Guys playing their sophomore year to play on a JV squad, they're starters. It's hard for them to sometimes take a step back and sit on the bench as juniors or be substitutes. And you have to convince them to stay out and then go for that last rung in the ladder to play in the varsity.
Langer is one of those guys that didn't play last year at linebacker, number 89. Porter to the line of scrimmage and no more. Bowenkamp there for the tackle. Gain of a tough yard.
Bowenkamp making his own version of a scrum right there, getting in there, pinching down.
Valley has put a field goal on the board, 17-0. Ankeny and Southeast Polk still 21, now 13. So Polk scores coming out of the locker room. Here it's 21-0, 21-7. As Cedar Falls scored on their last possession. This is Centennial's first drive of the second half. Smith steps back under. Penalty flag comes out. Smith is going to go to the 25, and he is probably going to have to come back. Initial call is hold.
I think it was a good tackle there on Noah Thayer, the 6-foot, 242-pound senior. I think he got taken down on the ground. So that will bring the ball back on. It was a positive play. The Cedar Falls, if they want to stay in this game, this is a big drive for them to hold it. They worked hard, quickly scored to make it a 2-touchdown, 2-score game, but you don't want to turn around and let Centennial drive the ball in here. So this is up to the defense here. This may be a key point of the game here with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Can they stop and not let them score?
Going to stop play for just a moment. I'm not sure if they've called a timeout.
So
or
13 is warming up. I don't know if this Chase Kluver, if Trenton Smith had to come out of the game, or but Kluver's on the sideline talking to coach going in.
And Kluver has had to do a very similar situation in week 1 where he had to come in on a play where Smith had gotten, I think his helmet had popped off or just a brief quick injury to attend to. So Kluver will come to the line here at 2nd and 22. Gives it to Porter. Cuts back up to the 40 inside to the 38-yard line. Chase Shuddy helping block. Bowenkamp there, as well as Ryan Bowling. We have another whistle and another slow-moving. That's Porter. Oh, and he has just gone right down. Porter got up. He is holding that left leg. I don't know if that's a cramp.
Hopefully it's just a cramp, something temporary. I think, he's had a lot of carries tonight. And stretch. Usually it comes out in a stretch play when you're trying to extend yourself out to gain some yards, so it's better to be safe and check them out.
Coaches are going to be allowed to go to the numbers to talk to their guys. So Southeast Polk is able to get the extra point. It's 21-14. Ankeny still with the lead. Dowling 21, City High 0. Waukee Northwest 14, Johnston nothing. Urbandale leads Roosevelt. That's homecoming tonight for Urbandale 9-7. And Valley in front of Waukee 17-0. Here it's 21-7. And Urbandale has just scored again to extend their lead to be 16-7. Now Cedar Falls on their first possession were able to, of the second half, were able to go 80 yards, and that's big to get some stats back in their positive way. They really only had about 35 yards of offense in that first half. They're now at 110. Centennial, though, Tim, tonight, 138 yards passing, 141 rushing. Again, passing ahead of rushing. Back and forth, but right now it's rushing in the lead as Porter's going to hobble his way to the sideline. That looks more like a cramp than a knee injury of some kind. I had the conversation with Coach Pizzetti, but did you pick up the sense in his when I asked him about what's this deal with you throwing the ball more? Do you seem offended?
Yeah, I think he's like, we don't throw the ball. That's not our identity at all, as they throw 24 times in a game. Yeah.
Smith is back in at quarterback, rolls out, high completion to Morgan. And that's another thing that Coach Pizzetti has been happy with is the completion percentage for his quarterback. Smith was 88% pass completions last week. He completed that play, but I'm not sure that was necessarily the receiver you wanted to hit.
I think, it didn't the clock's still running, so that's the main thing. If you're going to complete a short pass, at least don't go out of bounds and keep the clock running, because the clock is definitely in the favor of Centennial.
And the punt is away from Easton Miller. That's going to bounce and roll into the end zone for a touchback, and it'll be Cedar Falls football here. On the change of possession, Blake Walker down on those sidelines. He had the I think it was it Waukee and Centennial last week?
Yes.
And you haven't seen Cedar Falls, but you said the last report the sideline was a little different. Defense gets off the field, now what?
I think the offense, you just got to go back to your playmakers. I mean, on offense, that's been big for them going forward. I think Gelhaus, you just got to keep feeding the workhorse. That injury was huge, Paul, on Centennial because Cedar Falls defense got a much-needed break to get that stop.
They get off the field at the 4:33 mark, go to work at the 20-yard line off the punt. Gelhaus gets the call and no gain. Coming up to make that tackle was Easton Miller. That's Zach English, who had 8.5 tackles last week against Waukee. 24 on the season. He's the team's leading tackler. Haven't said Zach's name too much tonight.
It depends where his reads are. I know that, Taggart's been in there. Colton Kitt's been making some plays, so the linebackers have been active.
Hermanson from the gun. Looks downfield. It's pressured. He has to get rid of it, and I don't think his intended receiver wanted to catch it. Mitchell Darst giving pressure. I think that was Brody Taggart, 44. Yeah.
Yeah, he came in there, not allowing the quarterback to get too far out. Chased him. The quarterback is going definitely the wrong direction, so now that creates, on the incomplete pass, 3rd and 9, definitely in the defensive favor.
Well, and now Gelhaus will go under center. Gelhaus gets the call as Hermanson was under center, and Centennial kind of expected that one. Colton Kitt, Brody Taggart, and also Josh Binstock. So the reason we're not saying Zach English's name is because the defensive line's been doing all the tackling.
Yeah, Binstock. Yeah, it's the defensive line. The defensive line's making tackles. That means they're getting off their blocks. Cedar Falls is not holding their blocks so you get to the linebacker. So, you're definitely right. The linebackers are not making tackles because the line's taking care of it.
Jake Holstein, who was averaging 41 yards a punt coming into the game, called upon again here, gets that kick away, and he booms a big one. Takes Brule back all the way inside the 30, and he is popped. Wow, what a hit on coverage. Making that presence felt was Drew Gertis. Wow.
Mr. Gertis likes to play football. The one thing that Cedar Falls is known for, linebacking. I was looking up today that Matt Humpel, if you're from Northeast Iowa, it's Humpel, has coached 11 All-State linebackers in his career at Cedar Falls, so he does get peak performance out of his linebacking crew.
You know who else played at Cedar Falls? Trev Alberts. Made his way to the NFL. Yep. Smith's pass is complete to Max Snyder on the far side. Pick up in about 8 before Cedar Falls wrestles him down. And the man making the tackle is Ben Russell,
who has his hands full at his current job west of here.
Cedar Falls native. You have to always ask, was he an NU High guy or was he a Cedar Falls guy? NU High is closed, but did leave its mark. 21-7, Jaguars. Handoff, Morgan. Stops, starts, and maybe wants that play again as he is blown up back at the 40. Guess who was in there? We haven't said his name in a while. Drew Campbell.
Like I said, I think with the multi-back formation, the line can't tee off into the backfield like they were before. They had the single back formation, so that's one of the big adjustments that got in there. But Drew definitely got off the block right away, so causing a loss. So, bringing up a 3rd and 3, which would have been almost a first down, loss of yards there. 3rd and 3.
Colin Coonrod also in on that stop. 3rd down play for Smith. Sets up, looks like a screen. Now he's going to step up. He might, if he can just get to the sticks, he's going to get it, and he does. He goes down the far sideline before he's shoved out of bounds by the Tigers' Carter Schlottman.
One thing I noticed there, looking at it, if I could take a defensive lineman, Campbell's excellent, but he gets upfield too much as he runs upfield to get to the backfield. The tackle is basically just shoving him back, letting the momentum carry him back. He doesn't have to block him as hard. So the more he breaks down and controls the lineman in front of him using his hands, he'll be much better.
Fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. In motion, they give it to Porter. He sheds one tackle, in fact, sends the defender, loses his helmet on the play. Losing his hat was Ryan Bowling, but Gertis is the one who cleaned it up.
Yep, came in there. The defensive line, linebackers, everybody contributing on that play. So trying to get Porter to the outside. He still gained positive yardage, even though he had broke a couple tackles to get there. Clock is running.
Approaching the 1 minute mark. This is only Centennial's second offensive series of the quarter. Smith to pass. Now tuck it and run. Ball comes out after he is down. And boy, it looked like maybe he was taken down by Noah Thayer back at the line of scrimmage. But is that what you were pointing at?
No, I thought I would have given 2 points on the takedown on Campbell there because he had the edge. He lowered it. You lower that inside shoulder, get underneath the pads. You can get around. He did a perfect rush job there. Yeah, they probably got away with that. And then offensive linemen get away with holding all the time. They hold on every play. As Campbell would agree with me.
3rd and 3 for the Jags. A little bit of movement before the snap. I was telling some 7th grade football players a couple weeks ago when they were at practice and they'd had a scrimmage. And they're like, that team was holding all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's how the game is played. You hold until it's called, and you could call holding on every play. Welcome to football, guys.
And there is holding inside, really, if you do the jersey on the inside, as long as you're not stretching or impeding where the jersey's not pulling away, that's the big. There's a way of holding legally, and there's a way of holding where you're wrapping somebody or get them around the waist and that.
3 quarters down, 21-7. Centennial with the lead.
Used vehicles are created equal.
DeArmond certified used vehicles have a big advantage.
What sets us apart is that all used vehicles receive a 175-point inspection.
Carfax report, 2 oil changes, collision deductible coverage, and wheel dent and windshield repair.
Also, all DeArmond certified come with 2 warranties. A 1-year 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper and a 2-year 100,000-mile powertrain. DeArmond Ford Indianola, DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, DeArmondAuto.com.
Mornings, they can be hectic.
Let's go!
So can your car, so to get free pickup, drop-off, or delivery, head over to Honest Wrenches. And their loaner vehicles?
No extra charge.
Find your peace of mind with even more wonderful services.
Every vehicle that comes in gets a full visual inspection and a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty. No extra charge.
Head on over to Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
Welcome back to Ankeny Stadium. We have got to hold on. We're still doing a quarter in between. We're going to have to get some players off the. We have a little ceremony going on, and they still have. Honoring one of the veterans, and I think everybody but the 22 playing football knew what was going on in the stadium. Centennial goes to work here. Tim Hauber, Paul Yeager, Blake Walker, and the CISN crew with you here on this Friday night, the 16th of September, 2022 football season, week number 4. Centennial trying to get back to 500. They lead by 2 touchdowns as we begin the 4th quarter. Trenton Smith with the football. Steps, throws, and nearly intercepted by Drew Gertis trying to get it to, it was either Severson or Shuddy were right there. And now the Jaguars are going to have to punt the football away.
Came in, really good job, came in underneath the coverage, had his eyes on the, looking at the quarterback, and as the quarterback wound up, cut across the front of the formation, had the ball in his hands, probably why he's playing linebacker.
It was thrown behind Severson on that play as we watch it on the replay there. Well, don't go away yet, Cedar Falls fans. Kick is going to be taken by Ben Russell. He calls fair catch. Let's go down Blake Walker. Haven't heard from him in a little bit there, Blake. Let's see. What do you know there, Blake? I won't taint what you're going to say. I'll let you report.
This whole game for Cedar Falls really hinges on Tate Hermanson. He's been picked up by a lot of his players on the sideline. They're really trying to get him going, get his momentum up. He's going to be the difference maker. I mean, they've been able to run the ball with Gelhaus, but they're going to have to throw the ball here eventually. This whole drive will depend on the quarterback play from the junior.
He's in for Gavin Steggy, who could still return this season. Just not ready this week, but Coach Rammert says, hey, Tate has gotten better, made better throws as the season goes on. Little misdirection there. They sent 3 receivers to the near side of the field trying to spread out Centennial, and then they took a couple of steps forward, pitched it. Sometimes you'll see teams do that, trying to mess with your eye a little bit.
We think they're setting up here, the wide side of the field is to the left, which is a little bit harder to throw. But if he's going to roll out, you want to roll out quicker to get past the pursuit, because Taggart and English have been a great job pinching down.
Hermanson out and up, throws down sideline, has a man, has it caught at midfield. Huge play for the Tigers. It's caught. That is the receiver. I think it was Derek Woods, number 9.
It looked like number 9, had the ball there. Great, it just got over the corner there. It was like the zone coverage, good read there. And then just like Blake was saying, need the big play people to make plays.
Gain of 31. Gelhaus goes right side, gets to about the line of scrimmage and no more. Zach English up, also Bo Gerke for the Jaguars. You get a touchdown here from Cedar Falls. This game gets a whole lot more interesting there as we take a look at that play again on that big play. By golly, that might have been number 8. That might have been Holstein.
Big kicker. He's 6'1", 205.
But I think it was 9, not 8. Hermanson handoff. Gelhaus gets through the first line of defense and gets into the secondary and gets a first down. Connor Welch makes the stop all the way up to the 36-yard line.
Gelhaus does a nice job. When he goes upfield, there's not a lot of juking going on. He gets from point A to point B in a straight line. But good job picking all. Now he picks up the first down, softening up that defense a little bit. They got a drive going on here for Cedar Falls.
Gelhaus, 15 carries, 112 yards. Before the snap, we're going to have encroachment. We're going to have a penalty, I think, called on Centennial.
And it's a rule that came about just a few years ago, but you don't have to go across and touch the line. But if you cross that line, they're trying to entice an offside, so they'll throw the flag on a dead ball. So now 1st and 5 for the Cedar Falls Tigers,
who are now over 101 yards rushing of offense for the game. 10 minutes to play. Tigers driving, 1st and 5. Hermanson goes for the out and up. He's going for broke towards the end zone. It's underthrown, and it is picked off inside the goal line. And in the end zone, it's going to be an interception. Talmadge was going 1 for 1 on Logan Rowe, and the ball was just underthrown just a little bit. Here's the replay.
Yes, he had the good ball fake there, but he needed to put it deep in the end zone that either goes incomplete or touchdown.
Just underthrew that one. They're going to talk about that one in the on the film review session. But clearly confidence to allow Hermanson to make those plays. They're not shrinking the playbook.
Right, he went deep. That's the key, is these little out patterns that go like 5 yards. Those are great. It softens up. You can get it creates that next time you do the ball fake. Just with experience, just get the ball out there a little bit deeper.
Smith goes back to work. A little shift from the D-line. The give is to Porter. We'll check in now. Blake Walker down on the sideline for another update. Blake, what Did Tim see it right there? Just a little underthrown?
Yeah, underthrown. And, Hermanson, one of the things that he's been doing, when he goes long, you know he's going long. He does a little bit of a pump fake, then he throws long. Well, that gave Talmadge so much room as the corner. He's like, all right, if he's going long, I only got one target to cover. So Ankeny Centennial, good job being able to read that, considering the first big play downfield by Cedar Falls. Great job by Centennial's defense.
2nd and 7 for the Jaguars. 9:08 to play in the game. Centennial looking to milk some clock and keep the ball away from Cedar Falls, but not when you false start like that. Clock will stop and the Jaguars will move backwards.
That'll drive a coach nuts. You have a second 7 or 2nd 6, and then you lose those 5 yards. It's just like losing 3 yards on a first down play. So little lack of concentration there. They want to run the clock.
Ankeny has scored again. It's now 31-14 at Southeast Polk. So that game is going to get a whole lot of attention around the state. A lot of people liked pretty high on Southeast Polk. A lot of game left to play there over in Pleasant Hill. Severson in motion. The give is to Porter. He runs right through it, and Porter is into the secondary, making guys miss. He's across midfield up to the 45-yard line. Huge play. Almost a 35-yard, 36 make it gain on the play.
Big block there by Bo Carr in the backfield, taking his guy out of the play that had caused Porter to take a jag step back there, but then he went and found the open field and took her downfield.
Whistle on the play. Coach's time, I think, or referee's time. We have a player down, and we will step away with 8:20 to play.
When did strength become an ego thing? Strength is about more than you. It's about grit, work ethic, carrying your own weight, and still rising to new challenges, whether or not they happen during regular business hours. Because even for the strongest, there are no guarantees. But for those who wake up with the streetlights to make sure the world keeps moving, Western makes one promise: more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Injury is cleared for Cedar Falls. Easton Miller, pickup of 2. Easton's father, one of the many volunteers who help keep statistics on the field during the game. And the Millers have been around the program for a little while. They're going to be around for a little more time to go. They got another player coming. Great family there. Easton's going to get the call near side, and the reason Easton Miller is still running the football because he hasn't been knocked down yet. Easton's a guy, Tim, that can play both sides of the ball pretty darn effectively.
Yeah, good overall athlete there. Switch up on the Cedar Falls defense. They're putting Campbell on the left side of their formation and putting Bowenkamp on the right side, trying to create a different blocking scheme there. Didn't work there. So basically Campbell goes into the heavy side of the formation, trying to get a rush, trying to create some confusion on that offensive line for Centennial.
No Morgan or Porter on this play. It's still Miller who gets the handoff behind center, makes the guy miss, gets to the outside, and he's got a chance. He'll get inside the 20 before he's brought down by Caleb Weiland for Cedar Falls. It'll be enough to move the chains again for Centennial.
Miller's not small. I mean, he brings in 6'1", 205. He gets the ball upfield, so he's a stout running back. .6:55, clock moving.
if you're Cedar Falls here, the best you can hope for is to just allow a field goal or field goal attempt. You got to keep the Jags out of the the end zone. 1st and 10 before the snap, going to be procedure against Centennial, so they'll go backwards. Another one of those plays. In the post game, we'll try to talk to a couple of players from the winning team, and if it holds right now, it's Centennial. You got to maybe you got to think Eli Porter. He's had a good night, 19 carries, 134 yards rushing, 4 catches for 48 yards receiving. Severson, 2 catches for 42. Miller, 5 carries for 31. Let's see what he does on this play as Porter is actually back into the game. Severson goes in motion. The give is to Porter up the middle. Eli gets down to the 15, now 13-yard line. Entrikin helps lead the way in the tackle, Noah Backus.
Good blocking up front. They're allowing the outside of the defense to rush up the field, and they're just kicking them out, so it's creating more of a running lane to create that little shell pocket there. So good read, lineman read, blocking there, getting positive yards.
Snyder to the left, Severson to the right. Porter is to the left of Smith on this play. 2nd and 6 minutes to play. Severson in motion, the give to Porter. Cuts back left, holds there for a minute, gets up the middle, gets inside the 5, still driving his feet towards the end zone. Touchdown! We have a down player in the end zone. Let's watch the replay. Big block. Kevin Jones kind of made the initial push on that play. Riley Keller also there, kind of cleaning it up. Can we see that play again? There, Devin.
Over pursued.
Little over pursuit, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they went up there. They shot there, so they're watch flat footed. Once he hits that hole, Porter's a nice job of hitting the hole quickly. Then they're out of position. They're upfield too far and not reading the hole. So, but the blocking is good to let them do that. So, but you need a running back that has good eyes and vision to do that to find the open lane.
Dowling leads City High 21-0. They're at the half there. Waukee Northwest 14, Johnston 0. Urbandale has woken up here and put a couple more points on the board. They lead 30-7. Valley 24, Waukee 0. Ankeny leads Southeast Polk 31-14. Next week, we will see Sioux City East. They are 4-0.
They're ranked. Come to this game ranked.
Sioux City East came in ranked 9th according to the Cedar Rapids Gazette. The BC Moore loves them at number 3. As the extra point. BC Moore is a computer that looks at a lot of analytic type points and how much you beat somebody by another team. 28-7 is your score. 5:49 to play here from Ankeny Stadium.
Free Godfather's Pizza begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Do you know what the best part about being a dog is? You can hear disaster before it even happens. You know what they say about disaster. Sometimes it can inspire a symphony. An honest day's work deserves an honest day's treat.
No extra charge.
And that is why we choose Honest Wrenches. No extra charge, and it's how service should be.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
The extra point is good by Wiener. 28-7 is our score here. As Centennial almost putting this game away here. Now a 3-touchdown deficit. Severson's short kick. It's going to be taken by Rowe at the 5. 10, now 20. Across the 25 and no further than that. Blake Walker, and it's not necessarily the end of the road for Cedar Falls, but they got to make something happen pretty quick.
Yeah, I think there were positives on that last drive that they had because they had to. They had to open up the passing game. But Centennial then can adjust to that. I don't think we see a lot more running. Go back to Elijah Porter. I mean, what a game he's having. We didn't know what kind of Porter we'd see after we saw that game against Waukee last week, but just running like an animal this year. Really impressed to see him so far.
Had a good last couple of games. I'm telling you, Blake, you're the good luck charm for him. We'll see how that works out. 5:41 to play. First down play. Galehouse comes on the toss sweep, and he is going to be tossed down in a hurry. Colton Kitt is there. Hudson Simon, Zach English.
Binstock's in there.
Binstock was there first, though. Is he lathered up? Do defensive linemen get lathered up?
I think they get off the bus that way.
Okay.
I think they wake up going, we're going to play defense. I'm excited.
Shotgun, high snap for Hermanson. Gets it back on the screenplay. Right at the feet of Derek Woods, incomplete. Clock stops, 5:04. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
I think technically you get like a horse that you run and you get them lathered up. So I think the running backs get lathered up. I think the linemen just get warmed up.
Okay, runners. Cross-country guys run like 2 to 3 miles before they run their race. And then they go run the race, and then they run again. Football players don't do that. I don't think football players will lift before a game sometimes to get all fired up. Hermanson on 3rd and 10. Takes the snap. Here comes Kitt. Gets it away, far sideline. Too tall of a pass, incomplete. Intended receiver for Cedar Falls, Caden Smith, incomplete, and the Tigers are going to punt it away.
This Centennial defense has not given Tate Hermanson much time to sit back there and plant his feet, forcing him to roll it. So when he does roll it a little bit, he's forced to get rid of the ball quickly. So once they get another 3 and out, good job by the Centennial defense, controlling the game.
In to kick it away is Holstein at the 15. Nice kick again. Takes Severson, and it's going to be taken by Brule. Oh, and he has popped again. This time, making the initial contact was Noah Backus, the senior linebacker, 6 foot, 175 pounds.
Good, solid open field tackle. Wrestlers will wrestle before they go out of the mat.
Wrestlers do like 6 workouts before they have a meet, right?
Yeah.
The other day, Spencer Lee's statement about, his announcing after he won the national championship. Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't have any, ligaments in my knees left. Still got me pumped up. And wrestled down real quick is Jake Gossett.
Centennial should be just content here to run the ball. I don't see them just getting outside the hash marks much either. Just run it, force Cedar Falls to make the tackle. The linemen have control. Porter coming off the field.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how much more we'll see of Porter. I mean, yeah, you want the hot hand to be in there, but at the same time, you've had to stop play a couple of times for the cramps that have happened.
I've seen Ty Morgan several times tonight.
Morgan is in the backfield, and he gets the handoff, and Campbell comes in on the stunt and gets him behind the line of scrimmage. And the Tigers take a timeout at 3:53, and so will we.
What they call a snow day, we call a work day. And the resume I leave behind is nothing but clean pavement. That's why I stay prepared for all the depths of winter with a plow that won't back down from a little overtime and takes care of business beyond 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9 without skipping a beat. A plow you'd call a real MVP, the kind only Western builds, to get more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
free Godfather's Pizza. Begins with the download. Order through my new online ordering app and start earning free pizza and sides. It's easy. Download the Godfather's Pizza online ordering app today. Do it.
Over 1,300 vehicles on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. If we don't have it, you can build it. Newly expanded service department means we're hiring. See the openings on WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Smith is trying to get it to Snyder, and the ball falls incomplete. It'll be fourth down. Clock stops at 3:47. Next week, Sioux City East will play here. And then the week after, Centennial goes on the road against Urbandale. Then we'll be back, Waukee Northwest on the 7th of October. And then Centennial goes over to Southeast Polk. And for that matchup, kick by Miller is taken on a fair catch at the 36-yard line by Ben Bussell. Blake Walker. What do you know there, Mr. Walker?
I think right now Coach Rammert doesn't want to go down with 7 points. I mean, you got beat 24-7 last week. It showed a lot calling the timeout there. They still want to get that offense going and still get reps. I mean, you still got a young team, couple injuries, force a couple guys to step in. Why not? Just try to get the offense more reps against a really good Centennial team.
Next week, Ankeny will play Des Moines Roosevelt as Gelhaus gets the call and goes forward. Cedar Falls will be hosting Muscatine, who is 1-2 going into tonight's game. Then the Cedar Falls will host Kennedy. They'll be at Hempstead, then host Bettendorf, and then they'll finish the season at Dubuque Senior. So statistically, Cedar Falls gets up to midfield there on that play. Nice move. Tigers still moving, 3-10. Hermanson, quick throw, caught by Rowe out of bounds.
Nice to see Cedar Falls come with tempo, come in there. You see in a prevent defense, a lot of the new linemen in there for Centennial, just fresh linemen getting a good rush on there.
Chase Shuddy coming in to play a little defense.
Dad did. He goes, hey, Dad, you played some defensive tackle back in the day.
Dad was a monster on defensive line.
He was.
Gosh, I'm watching Ryan Shuddy play. Here comes Chase on the pursuit, and it's not going to be Chase. Instead, it's going to be Colton Kitt, and a penalty flag comes out at the end of the play.
Looks like it did. I don't know if he got horse color or a bit of a face mask there, but I'm just curious to see what the hanky is for.
Well, that wipes out a pretty big play, keeps the give a new set of downs for Cedar Falls, stops the clock. The give is to Gelhaus. He's free around the right side, down the near or far sideline, inside to the 15 to the 14. Before Welch takes him out.
Nice inside-outside move. Kicked it back outside, found a lane out there. So Gelhaus still running very physical here late in the game. Still moving down there, moving the chain. So Cedar Falls not giving up. Learning a lot about the character of your guys in a drive like this.
Hermanson throws towards the end zone. Receiver was there. Welch on defense. Intended for Woods, incomplete. We were supposed to see more Lucas Brule and Easton Miller switching spots without Hudson Simon. That's what we were told earlier in the week, but Simon's been out there kind of in that middle spot the majority of this game. Miller comes out to the wide side of the field. Back up goes Gelhaus, and he is stopped by Bo Gerke. Timeout Cedar Falls? Yes. Timeout Tigers.
Definitely, 4-down territory this late in the game down there inside the 10.
All right, week 3, the only reason I started paying attention to the BC More rankings is we had 3 weeks in. Week 4, we're going to have a much better sense of where the season is going after tonight and after next week as things start to shake up. Cedar Falls, their toughest game after tonight is going to be Cedar Rapids Kennedy in 2 weeks. Centennial, again, statistically speaking, BC More through the power rankings, they're 3rd. Southeast Polk is 2nd. But Jaguars have 16-19 and Des Moines East 32. So one of the weaker teams in 5A.
What they're showing tonight, I still think they're definitely in, the playoff hunt in 5A.
Those are all, I'll give you my thought on this after this. Hermanson runs the option to the right side, keeps the pitch, gets into the end zone, and he is touchdown! 7 yards. Tate Hermanson runs it in. And the Tigers make the score a little more respectable here.
Nice option play went out there, took it, they took the running back there on the pitch.
And that's what the quarterback is supposed to read. Yep.
You get the
Gerke, yep.
The linebacker there on the island, and their first step is the wrong step.
Holstein's kick is good. 28-14, 2:19 to play here from Ankeny Stadium.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday,
and we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
For 75 years, Holt service trucks have hit the streets of central Iowa to help customers in need. It might be for plumbing, heating, cooling, a water heater, or the usual repairs and maintenance. We've done that with quality work from quality employees who bring passion and personality to the job. That's the Holt difference. It gives me great pride to see how our company has grown from the seeds of success my grandfather planted in 1947. That's why more and more central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
Cedar Falls likely to attempt an onside kick. Jaguars bring up 2 lines, hands up front. Holstein stands at the 40. Ball's got to go 10. It bounces up in the air, and it is quickly grabbed by Cole Greider. Perfect execution of that kick. It went up in the air and gave his guy a chance, just a little too deep. All right, Blake Walker, we're settling in here on post-game interviews, but I'm not going to say anything yet because we still have a little bit of game to go. Porter, 21 carries, 143 yards, and a good night receiving. Smith has looked good. Miller, Morgan. A couple of options there. Anybody like you on the defense, Blake?
I think Joe Talmadge with that interception. That was a game-changing interception, Paul, if we look at it. That drive could have gotten them within 7 because they were up 21-7. That's a big interception down inside the 5. I think that changed the game, honestly.
Sounds like a defense and offense, and you just made Tim's night. Good job, Blake.
Blake, you're very astute and very insightful on your call of a defensive player. I would have to agree.
And anytime, Paul, you want to take a night off, I'll gladly work with you. I get it. I got it. All right. Yeah, there you go. Penalty is against Centennial, so they'll go back 5.
And you could easily, Taggart was in there, Zach English, and Colton Kitt had several plays tonight there. You could really pick anyone and be correct tonight from the Ankeny defense.
In motion is Severson. They go back with Easton Miller. He spins his way past the 40, back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 43. I'm going to go back to my Centennial comments of Centennial could, it's possible, win out the rest of the year.
They could.
Because if you ask those who watch tape on Ankeny and Centennial against each other, that is a game Centennial could have won, maybe should have won. And Ankeny tonight took it to Southeast Polk. That game's gone final now, 31-14. 90 seconds, and before the snap, illegal procedure on false start.
Winning 2 in a row gives you confidence. We're seeing, the maturation of Trenton Smith playing really a solid quarterback. He runs the offense. He's making the right reads. He's not creating a lot of trouble out there, even though he had a pick, this first half. But, he's playing solid, and the running game is solidified much better than we saw the first game of the season.
2nd and 15, minute 29 before the snap, another whistle. Penalty against Centennial goes backwards. And if you're starting to figure out, all right, this is how we're going to use Porter. This is how we're going to throw the football. This is how we're going to run the ball. Hand off Easton Miller. And let's not lose sight of the fact of the big plays Easton Miller's given you.
Yeah. I always call, the lineman, Tyler Eisentrager, moving from his natural guard spot over to center, has done a really good job. When you have longer snaps to make, through being consistent. That's quite a transition. It's a young line, Bo Carr's come in there playing guards. You have some shifting in there. The tackles have played well. So that offensive line settling down and doing a good job against really a very athletic, talented Cedar Falls defense. So, shout out to that entire offensive line for playing well.
3rd and 13 for Centennial. 46 seconds to play. Miller up the middle. Across midfield as the first down into Cedar Falls territory. And that will salt it away, and that will likely be Jaguars are not going to have to take a snap. Half a second separates the play and game. But gives Cedar Falls, came out, scored the first possession of the second half, got on the board, scored another touchdown late, pulled this thing a lot closer, but it's going to be Centennial and their 386 yards of offense going back to 500 with a 28-14 win over Cedar Falls tonight.
Impressive balanced offense that Coach Pizzetti was talking about, that he wanted to see, that they had a balanced running attack. It was mainly Porter, but Morgan came in there, Easton Miller came in there and added the exclamation point, fresh set of legs. So even Trenton Smith getting a few rushes in there, so a good balance between pass and running. The Centennial offense is exactly what he needs.
We'll break down stats. We'll take a quick break and have some post-game for you. Don't go away. Just getting started on the 5th quarter. Jaguars win 28-14. Post-game after this.
Western lets your UTV power through the storm. The Impact V-Plow and Impact Straight Blade, with the features the pros demand. Custom tailored for your UTV. And to keep your work top-notch, rely on the Tornado UTV Hopper Spreader. Now that's a job well done. Western, more jobs done faster.
Visit Truck Equipment Inc. today at truckequipmentinc.com.
I'm off to college. Oh, rats!
Hi, Joe the Car Guy with a reminder. Before you send your kids off to school, set up an appointment with Westside Auto. We check everything from tires to belts, fluids, hoses, wipers, and lights. 44 inspection points to help prevent that oh rats moment for your students. Call us today to set up your appointment. We'll have your kids off to school saying,
For the best, head west.
Westside Auto.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
We all love a good win, however small or ordinary. Losing track of time, finding yourself with a few extra dollars in your pocket, soaking up the perfect Iowa day. These are the everyday delights and small victories that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the moments that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the corn they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ankeny Centennial improves to 2-2 on the season with a 28-14 win over Cedar Falls tonight from Ankeny Stadium. Welcome to our post-game show here on CISN. Cedar Falls tonight. 22 rushing attempts for 87 yards, the majority of them coming in the third quarter on the opening drive. 8 of 17 passing for Hermanson for 80 yards. That's a total of 167 for Centennial. 45 rushes for 241 yards, passing 13 for 20 and 145. Add those together, 386 yards. Blake Walker has the task of trying to find two needles in a haystack, and I see one, and I see Talmadge, and we might not get Porter, but if we get Talmadge first. Oh, boy, look at Blake's making a play like Talmadge would in the secondary. What a heat-seeking type play. And let's go down to the sideline. Blake Walker with our post-game report.
Eli Porter. Eli, first of all, congratulations on the win. You guys started 0-2. That's tough. You didn't lose by much in those two games. You get a win last week. What was the vibe coming into this week?
We got to give thanks to our scout team players. You know, they really pushed us all week, which allowed us to come out here and kick some butt, you know. We started off not very good, you know. Still mental mistakes on the field that need to be fixed, but going ahead, I believe we can do it.
You've been huge the last 2 weeks. What's been the big step up for you these last 2 weeks?
Big step up for me, I guess I just gave my sport to God, you know. That's for me. But that really allowed me to excel. And, you know, I got to thank the scout team. Coach Pizzetti and the scout team just keeps pushing me to be better and better. They're on me after every mistake I make, so that's what makes me good.
It's homecoming next week. That's a big week. What do you like most about the homecoming week when it comes to celebration leading up to the game and then the game itself?
Just going out and eating food with friends.
That's a good choice. Great job tonight, Eli.
All right, Eli Porter, thank you very much. Blake and Joe has already made his way onto the sideline, but you want to do a little post-game interview? Let's go back down to Blake Walker.
Let's see if we can get Pizzetti here. Coach, first of all, congrats on the win. You guys are 0-2. You start, come back, get 2-2. What's the vibe like here on this team after coming back strong here these last 2 weeks?
We played two good teams to start off with, and we played two really quality teams the past 2 weeks. We're getting better as a team and moving forward, and we got some things to improve on, but we like where we're at right now.
What's the biggest takeaway from tonight? What did you like the most?
I love how our defense plays. You know what? They got to drive the ball on them, and we appreciate that as an offense. And offensively, we create balance, and we're throwing the ball well, we're running the ball well, and you know what? We're really pleased where we're at right now. But we know we got a 5-0 Sioux City East team coming in here on Friday, and we're looking forward to that.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Blake. Blake Walker tonight, pinch hitting for us on the sidelines, and great job there, Blake. What'd you hear from those two post interviews, Tim Halber?
I think it's a team effort. I think it's great to hear the scout team is pushing the starters to play better, and they're taking that to heart. So that means the team is unified. And Coach is right. They face some tough opponents. They're growing. They're maturing. They're peaking. They're getting better. So the season's right in front of them. They can take advantage of it. But they can't sleep on it because they do have a pretty sneaky good Sioux City team coming in next week.
Sioux City East plays a little lighter schedule than maybe the Central Iowa. I mean, they're playing tonight Sergeant Bluff Luton, which is down a class. But last year, that game, if I remember correctly, first half was only maybe a 6-0 or 8-0 halftime lead for Centennial. I remember talking to the coaches after that game and some of the parents that were up there, and they didn't like the officiating of that game, and they just felt it was a lot of things not for them. But they came away with a 30-0 victory. Listening to Ryan, one other thing that he said in the pregame this week was Porter's not played running back that much. Right. And he's had some injuries. He does seem to be getting better each and every game.
He does. He's finding his, as we would call it, sea legs. We saw him the first couple of games he was there. He was running tentatively. He didn't know where the hole was. He wasn't reading it. But now at the timing between him and his running backs, he's hitting the hole at the right time when the hole pops up. He's got really good vision now. He's more comfortable. I think he's very comfortable at the running back position. So then, as a result of tonight, you get a 100-yard game.
Porter tonight, 21 carries, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4 catches, 48. Gelhaus, 18 carries, 136. So great game for him. Cedar Falls did not quit. I'm sure gave coaches some things that they're going to work on here in the next week.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. You start watching film, you find out here's where mistakes are. And he mentioned that in the first half. They gave them, they were in the game. They made some mistakes. But see, the second half they came out. They scored a touchdown. They scored 2 touchdowns here the second half. There's a lot of good in there. They're fighting about their passing game, still finding themselves out a little bit. They got their running game straightened out. It's a solid athletic team. The defense just spent way too much time on the field to make an impact late in the game to shut them off.
Valley knocked off Waukee tonight 24-0. Roosevelt is been able to score, but still looking up at a 37-13 deficit against Urbandale. Sioux City East tonight, or at least this week, won 42-14 against Sergeant Bluff. So as Coach said, an undefeated team coming in here. Waukee Northwest leading Johnston 21-7. Dowling in front of City Heist 27-0. And the big game that I think we're going to talk about and maybe just kind of look at 5A, it's Ankeny 31, Southeast Polk 14. Same scenario as last year. Southeast Polk comes in. Great game here last season. Ankeny wins the regular season, loses to Southeast Polk in the state championship game. I don't know if we'll see that again this year.
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait till the postseason and it rolls out. But then I think it's a learning experience for the Ankeny team. They can't, just because they beat them once. Beating a team twice in here is really difficult. So we'll see how the pairings line up. I think we've been blessed to watch many. Basically, I think playoff-bound teams here so far this year, in Indianola and Cedar Falls, and both Ankeny schools. So and Dowling last week. So yeah, it's been hang on. It's gonna be a long season.
Thank you to Centennial Activities group of Nate Lindgren and Blake Cruikshank for their week, and everybody else here at Centennial and at Northview Stadium tonight. The crew at CISN, Devin, our director, Jeff, our stats. Blake on the sidelines, Tim over there, I'm Paul. Thank you so very much for listening and watching tonight. Centennial, a 28-14 win. We're on next week. Sioux City East, undefeated, comes to Ankeny Stadium. We'll be on the air after 6 o'clock. Kickoff at 7. So long from Ankeny Stadium.